Back in the game and well at the top, a king of the ring and calling my spots. I'm raising the bar to crank it a notch. I'm full of mistakes, cause life is a botch. Lights can get brighter and brighter. I walk through that curtain, my levels get higher and higher. Studied the best, in this generation I'm next. Super Kid Party, no doubt we just hit a suplex. Hookup by crook, survive if I let you, they stand to their feet. Sports entertainment.
What is going on? What is going on, ladies and gents? Ladies and gents, fresh off of a Halloween night. Welcome to your favorite holiday podcast of all holiday podcasts. That's right, on a very Halloween, post-Halloween in this instance, but we're still in character because why not? You know what I mean? It's the day after and it's still Halloween. Everybody loves the day after Halloween. Why? Because you get to the Halloween stores and get everything 50% off. All wigs and all the costumes and makeups you can grab, baby. Makes
candy too.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, makes next year that much better, baby. But it's your boy Highlight Reel in the building. I guess in this instance, referee Highlight Reel, ladies and gentlemen, the special guest referee of the evening, and of course, joined by none other than everyone's favorite Ash, Benny, or should we say, Miss Nikki Bella.
Mm-hmm. You can like, but you can't touch. Cue music.
Cue music, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all already know. Hey, production guy, do your job. Do your job. Stay on cue. Right? Watching you, they communicate with me backstage. I can count you out.
Facts, yeah. Yeah, we standing in gorilla right now.
Come on now, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I know guys, we've been a little MIA, man, so my apologies. Been dealing with some stuff in a way that's been keeping your boy a little busy, man, and I know we had some stuff going on. So, of course, we wanted to keep it flowing and consistent for you, and going forward, we're going to make sure we got some backup plans and backup sample ideas in the event that either one of us cannot make our episodes and all that good stuff. But, of course, I know, since we've been away with some stuff that happened and a lot to talk about, so in a speedy kind of way, let's see, we've had Adam, it's hard not to call this man Edge, but
Edge, yeah. Adam Copeland.
Adam Copeland, which, by the way, are you one of those that too many Adams in AEW these days?
I mean, there are way too many Adams in AEW these days, but none of them are Adam Copeland, though. So let's talk about it.
I see. Here's a fun fact nobody's talking enough about. They say it's too many Adams, but it actually just hit my mind. There's too many Tonys in AEW too.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
About that one, huh? Yeah,
when you think about it.
Tony Schiavone, Tony Storm, Tony Khan. Come on, yo. What's with all these Adams and Tonys, baby? We gotta change the names up.
Switch it up.
Yeah. We need to be more creative on that, Tony Khan. You want to start making up some names now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
Trademark some names, my guy. Let's see. What else have we kind of sped through? Kind of doing like a quick thing before we get rolling with the true structure of the show, just to make sure everybody knows what's been going on since we've been away here. So let's see. We got new GMs apparently on both shows.
Oh yes, Nick Aldis.
Yes,
came back to WWE, which was like a crazy little surprise.
Of course. Now, were you one of those that were kind of upset or not upset at the way they did that in terms of reaction, or were you kind of like, that's pretty cool for him?
That was pretty cool for him. I mean, like, Nick Aldis, obviously, he's a super talented guy. He's like really well known in the indies, but in terms of like mainstream, he doesn't really have that big stamp. So I feel like it made sense how they kind of transitioned him into the company. Agreed.
That guy, I'm proud of him personally. I mean, I'm like, hey man, boy, seeing you since you were Magnus and TNA, boy, you've been grinding.
Yeah.
Good to see him back. And making that WWE payday, you know what I mean? And as an authority figure at that. I loved it.
Facts. I'm happy that authority figures are back. I'm happy about it.
What? And especially since they solidified, I like how they tried to make it look like Adam Pearce was not already a GM. It's like, bruh, you literally come out and be like, it's official.
Yeah. He's been running. He's been running things for a while.
Yeah. He officially has the title. It's like, well, thank you for giving him something we kind of already knew he had, but all right.
Yeah.
Now we got
Make it official now. Make it official now.
yeah, I'm like, all right. So I'm looking forward. I hope now we're getting some exclusivities amongst these brands again to really give us that true split feel. You know what I mean? Like,
I hope so.
yeah, like it's cool, and hopefully when they do the draft next year or next time around, now that we have GMs again, it'd be a nice little competitive hey,
Yeah.
trade.
And it seems like they kind of been planning a little something. It seems like that, like in the past, maybe like 2 weeks ago when Jay was on SmackDown and they were trying to fine him like $10,000, and then they booted him and Adam out the building. I was like, damn.
It was totally worth the experience. I was like, you know what? Thank you, WWE. Thank you, Triple H. Because that's another thing that has happened since we've been gone. Triple H, ladies and gentlemen, is in full 100% control. All right.
Yeah.
So thank God for that. Now we're getting our storylines back again. We're getting the people that we haven't seen on television, as we'll get into down the line.
Yeah.
Are now back in full effect, where you're like, oh yeah, wow.
Yeah. Carlito is definitely one of them. I was super happy when he came back and he like not rejoined, but he kind of got back into the fold with the LWO storyline, because he re-debuted at Backlash, and then after that it was kind of just like, yeah, crickets for a while.
Like, hey, yeah. Carlito, you still cool? Where you at, bro?
Yeah.
I don't see you. like you got melted or something. I mean, all that cool can't get melted.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They called Johnny, like got Tommaso back on TV. That was cool as well.
Yeah, we found him. Like, hey, guys, this just in. He's no longer missing. I didn't
know. I somehow lost when he got found. I don't know when he got. I missed the chapter.
Love it, man. But so I'm trying to see if there was anything else. For the most part, I want to say in a little speedy kind of way, we got all the stuff, but they probably wanted to know how we felt about it. So it's like,
yeah.
For the most part, that's kind of just a little speed catch up real quick, just to let y'all know, hey, we've been watching and paying attention.
Yes, for sure.
A lot going on both ends a little bit, but we're back, and like I said, we're consistent from here. So don't worry, don't fear not. We got stuff for you, and we even got emergency stuff just in the event. But without further ado, y'all know how we do things, man. It's first and foremost, we just gonna get into it. But before you even get into it, Ash, how have you been since? Like, I mean, I see you. I've been seeing spook season's pretty much just about over. How are you feeling now? I mean, are you getting in holiday mode? Or are you kind of like, where are you at right now?
So I had a really, really good spooky season. I went to I did the pumpkin patch thing, did a whole bunch of family stuff, had like a really fun Halloween weekend. So that was nice. And now I'm just kind of ready. Like, honestly, November, besides Thanksgiving, is really like the only month where I don't have mad stuff planned, probably until like February. So I'm just going to enjoy the calmness of November before the storm.
Okay, all right. That was fair. And shout out to the fact it just hit me here. Silly me. I'm so rude. I'm sorry. My guy, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. I see we have a cameo special guest joining us on this evening. What's up, Chuckster? I mean,
we got Chucky in the building.
Yeah, like
it's friend of the show.
Like, man, sheesh. Me and that guy go so way back that I just never would have imagined I'd actually be doing a podcast with this guy. Like, man.
Yeah, I was setting up and he was like, let me chill for a minute. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Put him out. Bro. He only comes out the box during spooky season. Probably like in the next week, he's going back in his good guy box. So
I know you hated my guy. I know you hate it, don't you? You don't want to be in that box, do you? You want to stay Hey, rules are rules, my friend. Rules are rules. Don't worry, we'll have you back. But with that, now that we've not acknowledged, pun intended, we've acknowledged our guest.
Yes.
We are here and we are back. Life's a Botch in full effect. So yeah, man. This time around, man, we're gonna bring back some new. We got some new segments. We got some old segments that are coming back that a lot of my OGs out there remember, like Babyface or Heel. Hey guys, I know y'all remember that segment. That's always a fun one. And then, of course, we got Benny's Block, as always, the oh so loving and popular Benny's Block. We got just a bevy of things coming for you guys on what's going to be a terrific show and all that good stuff, man. So, with that being said, let's get on right into it. Let's go ahead and go into what's cooking. So we here, as you know, the top of the show is always what's cooking, where we just sit back, talk about trending topics, things that are wrestling related, non-wrestling related. This is really non-wrestling related mostly. Could be music, could be movies, could be anything. You know what I mean? So don't kick back, relax, let's just chop it up a little bit. So Ash, on your side, what's been trending lately that you kind of had to speak on a little bit out there in the universe?
So I'm super excited because one of my favorite like modern horror movies is this movie that came out, I believe it's either 2014 or 2015, but it's called It Follows. And it's super, gives off the vibe of a one-off, but they just announced that they're going to do a sequel called They Follows, and they have like the original creative team, original director, and the original lead coming back. So it's supposed to come out 2020. Yeah, so actually it was 2014. It's supposed to come out in 2024, and that will be 10 years since It Follows came out, which is a little mind-blowing to me because it feels like it was just yesterday when it came out, but I digress. I'm really hyped for it though.
Yeah, no, I could sense the hypeness for it, especially for sure. Because I never got around to seeing that movie, but I heard a lot about it because I remember listening to a review on it, and I thought to myself, what an interesting concept that is. Scary, yet not so scary. If you're
yeah. Yeah.
a lot of times, that's the best way to defeat this thing. Is just stay a virgin. You know what I mean? But then I'm like,
well, you would think I won't spoil it for you.
Oh,
I won't spoil it for you.
You think, okay, well, I stand corrected. I was gonna say, because what does that mean for people who are married? Then I'm like, I don't know. Once you're married, that kind of ends the virginity.
Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't pass. Hopefully you don't pass it on, or your spouse is being faithful.
Exactly, like man, but I feel you. While we're on the subject of movies, I'll actually go into a trending topic myself that it's now November, and as we are with November, we got a nice upcoming release coming in this month that is going to be very excited for the fans out there. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the biggest super fan of this. I actually kind of just started watching this series because when this was popular, I watched the very last installment of it for the first time ever because I didn't even never see the series. So I watched this kind of in reverse. Now it's like, again, still to this day, not like a super fan. I can't tell you. I never read the books. I don't know all this stuff, but it is quite entertaining, I will say. So The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Somewhere, everybody out there is probably making this loud skreek of noise because they can't wait for this film to release. And I get it because looking at a prequel here, talking about that of Mr. Snow. Hunger Games lovers out there, about Mr. Snow. And I ain't gonna lie, he was one heck of a character for sure. So to see this origin story should be very, very intriguing, no doubt. And so I'm excited. It's November season. We're getting ready for the premiere. We're trying to catch that right on the night. Go ahead and get that hype out the way. So
okay.
So I'm sure that's gonna break. I'm actually quite curious at what probably is going to break.
Me too. I feel like it's gonna do well because here's the thing: like when the Hunger Games came out, when the book series came out, like I was perfect age, perfect demo for that. So I had read the entire series. I think Mockingjay hadn't come out yet when the first Hunger Games came out. And like I saw that movie in theaters. Like I was YA dystopian down, like when I was in when I was in middle school and high school, like early high school. So I'm super excited for this new Hunger Games prequel as well. I feel like it's going to do well because for some reason Twilight and Hunger Games have kind of had like a resurgence in the past couple of years, like during the pandemic. Like people remember it a lot more fondly than I remember. Like people used to like make fun of me when I would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go see the new Hunger Games movie." They'd be like, "See that childish nonsense?" I was like, "It's good. I'm telling you." Like this past summer, I had my husband watch the entire series, and he was like, "I can't lie. I can't lie. That was actually pretty good. That was an eatery. I can't lie."
And see, I noticed that's one thing I noticed about these Hunger Games here is that they're more catered to the ladies than us fellas. Now I know some guy fans too, but see, you that's how it was with me because my girl got me into trying to watch this, and I was like, well, you know what? I got you into wrestling for the first time, so it's only fair that I give the Hunger Games a shot. Why not? I mean, like I
Yeah.
didn't see the very last one. You know, I walked into it blindly, didn't know what the
Oh
heck.
wow.
I just watched it. I was with some friends, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to see this." And I'm like, "Never seen any of these, but I'll watch it." And I mean, I'll admit, seeing the last one, I was like, "Oh, kind of interesting." I don't know what's going on, but like,
Yeah.
and then thanks to her, now going and went on like a little marathon here and watched them all in sync, and I was like, "Oh, so that's what this is all about." Wow, and man, just some of those heartstring tuggers. Not gonna lie, I was like,
Yeah, Catching Fire is the best one of the three, or the best one of the, I guess, yeah, the three.
of the three, yeah, I can say,
Yeah.
it. Yeah, man, because boy, some of the things you endured and saw, I was just like, oh my goodness. So, I'll tell you, I'm excited to see this prequel. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Now, I will say, somebody who is an avid watcher of this, did you pay attention to like the books? I mean, well, you read the books. Hold on, let me go back. In my mind what I was going to ask though. What I meant to ask was,
Yes.
when people read the book and then they see the movies, kind of like the Harry Potter series and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
used to be in a book club, and I remember when they would talk about like how everything was exactly the way they pictured, right? In some instances. So you read something, you have it in your imagination, and then all of a sudden it comes to life, and you're like, oh, that's exactly how I pictured those creatures.
Yeah.
Was that accurate for you and what you saw through most of the series?
For Catching Fire, it is. Like for people who are like interested in Hunger Games, the first Hunger Games is very, very good. That movie, it's very fast paced. It gets straight to the point. It has good action. There are a little bit of slow points, but if you have like an investment with the characters, there's a good payoff in the end. Catching Fire is when everything is kind of just like in place, and the way the plot moves, it's just like this huge sense of dread. It's kind of like the Empire Strikes Back of that series. It's so good. It's so good. So good. The shot when Katniss, I don't want to spoil anything, but like when Katniss goes up into like the cornucopia and then it switches the ratio.
Yeah.
Cinema. That picture of Martin Scorsese, like cinema. Like what can I say, like
Yeah, I do remember that scene and was kind of like, oh, and especially when it just ended, and I'm like, oh, this is how it ended. I'm like, oh man, wow.
yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good.
And then that's when she was like, no, yeah, this is where it kind of goes into that, and I'm like, oh, I was like, oh,
Part one and part two. It's the ultimate disservice that they split it into two movies, but that's just like the greed of corporate companies, and that's a bigger conversation. But
gotta get
but
got to,
yeah. If it was one movie, they just like trimmed all the fat and just put it into one. It would have been much better.
Okay. So in terms of trending for me as well, I'm gonna rotate this a little bit and switch subjects in another way. For me, with what's cooking, ladies and gentlemen, this is the holiday season, and this is peak video game season. This is usually where the biggest of the final biggest titles of the year start releasing themselves. And so your boy been hooked on that Spider-Man 2 for sure.
Jealous.
Out to the storyline, man. Yes. Oh my God. I won't spoil it for anybody that didn't play the game yet, but let me just say that, oh my gosh, chef's kiss, man. Like the way a video game universe of Spider-Man was set up right now, like Insomniac really they really like it's funny because it's different than what you may know from the movies, but it's similar. But see, if you know
Okay.
the comics, you can see that the video game universe is following accurately what the comics do as the movies do as well. So like,
Oh,
but it's
dope.
just if you're expecting certain things where you're like, oh, this person is in this, it's just so funny. And then I thought about Enter the Spider-Verse from earlier
Yeah.
this year, and I thought about the cameos they had in there, and I remember seeing the Insomniac Peter Parker Spider-Man in there, and was like, oh look, it's the PlayStation Spider-Man. And
Yeah.
it just all made sense when I'm looking at this universe now, and I'm like, huh, this does all connect in what Mr. He Who Remains was saying about this multiverse. It's almost like it really is spilling into these other universes if you think about it. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 2 was worth the play. And I will say if you really enjoy good stories like that, absolutely go enjoy that. Go cop that and play that. I know how it is if you ain't on the PS5 team just yet. Don't worry, trust me, I get it because I know they're still taxing out there. But when you do get around to it, make sure that's a first play. You are going to enjoy it. Assassin's Creed Mirage was pretty cool. I'm trying to think of some other ones that were like you got to play. Call of Duty season is here, so Call of Duty will be out literally in about another week. That should be fun for all my shooter lovers out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just the third installment, so that should be fun. And let me see if there was one more that came out from this. I'm more excited for Tekken, but I have to wait for that literally at the top of next year. So I'm kind of mad. I gotta wait till January, but it's all good.
Yeah.
January before you know it, baby, and I'm ready to
Facts.
serve them up, baby. So if you're ready for hey, I give you the online, baby. Let's go. Go on with the Prince of Botch, baby. We here. But
Okay.
let's see. There's another thing that had been trending, and I have to get your intake on this. Now, Ash, I know you're not the most sports sound individual, but I do have to ask, just in case, the hubby's in the sports and you might have seen these players and you probably just say, yeah, there's something about him that always kind of gave me that vibe. But I ain't, let me just put this public service announcement out there, you know what I'm saying? Because we rock with everybody. So this is not
Yes.
bash. This is not, shameful. We love and support every bit of any, communities, LGBTQT, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I said that right. Forgive me if I messed it up. But I'm just more so going at the player than his background. It's just more of a fact of my guy. I had you threw me for a loop here. I didn't think this was your lifestyle, and yet it's cool that it's your business. He addressed it. It's his business.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, man, come on. It's 2023, my guy. You could have did that a long time ago if you wanted to. I don't know, guys. But ladies and gentlemen, who am I talking about? I'm talking about NBA player or former NBA player at this point, since he's not really on a team at the moment. But
yeah.
Dwight Howard.
Okay.
That's been a trending topic to me throughout this week. Yeah. Again, not to shame what you do, but more so the fact that you allowed it to get out in this kind of way publicly, my guy. Like,
yeah.
I'm more so trying to understand, like, one, so out of all these years, that means you've been this way the entire time? Like, because you've led a lot of audiences to believe you were just completely straight for the most part. But like,
yeah,
when you closeting, my guy, and trying to be ashamed of what I don't know.
Yeah, and then plus, like, I know that there's like just like a whole bunch of stuff surrounding, like a whole bunch of controversy surrounding Dwight Howard right now. I didn't do a deep dive.
Yeah.
Because like I kind of just like see it on the timeline.
Yeah.
But I did hear about what you were talking about. That's really crazy. That's really crazy.
Like, I'm sure, him being such a notable name over the years, like, was there ever any inkling, because usually women are good at being able to sense that, right? If a guy flies in. Did you just look at him and be like, yeah, he a little too smiley, or yeah, he a little what went through your mind when you first found out who Dwight Howard was and just took a first glance at him? Did you kind of be like, I don't know about that one? Or what was the thought?
So, so what's crazy is that like I never really just like looked at Dwight Howard in like any way, period. Like I kind of just would just like look at him and be like, oh, that's Dwight Howard, you know? I never really like thought about him and like
Right.
in a way of like, you know, like a thought of how he would work a room, so to speak, you know? So I never really thought about him like that. But I was a little surprised just because like I know that these NBA players,
Mhm.
I know how they get down, you know, like they have like a whole bunch, they have like a roster, you know, so I just kind of assumed that that was like what his situation was. I
Yeah.
never really thought about what he was really like, what he could potentially really be doing, you know?
And that's what I'm saying. And then, and agreed, that's why I was just like, I know ladies usually have an inkling of, knowing that whether you're like sexually attracted to the person or not,
Yeah.
you can kind of just pick that up. Like it's just a women's intuition, I guess. I don't know. Y'all just have that sense where y'all can really tell
Like,
a man's man
yeah.
from, and you can also tell like, okay, well, this man's not that way. He's just heterosexual. Like, he
Yeah.
get all that, blah blah blah, and that one's just a little too. I don't know about that one. I would,
Yeah, normally my gaydar is pretty good. Normally it's pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah,
So
like and that's why I say I don't knock it for sure. Like again, do you, my guy, for sure. This is not to knock or anything of what you're doing. I'm just more so bringing up the fact that it's like of all these years, I mean, that man was in the league a long time. Like he got drafted in like 2004. So I'm like,
wow.
from that time to now, and knowing what we know now, it's like, so all those years you were in the NBA, my guy, what did that really mean? Like, were you,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, what
Yeah.
so,
What
again,
was going on?
business is just a thought of, well, that's interesting. So,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
that was something. So, for the most part, trending topics, that seems to be about it as far as what I know of, outside of the fact that did Nicki Minaj release her Pink Print 2 yet?
It's coming out on her birthday. She moved it.
That's coming out on her birthday. Okay.
One thing about Nicki, she's gonna move that date. She's gonna move that date at least once.
I would hope that date is definitely worth it for sure.
Yeah, she said it was something about like the vinyl. It was something about like the merch distribution with the timing of everything. So she just wanted to be able to release all the merch at once. So it's coming out during SAG season now. So
Okay, SAG season. Shout out to that. You boys on that side, so I get it. I get it.
nice.
Now, yes, sir, we getting there. Uh, oh, that's one more thing on the music tip though. Before we move into our wrestling topics, because I know y'all, it's a wrestling podcast. We're gonna get to that, but again, this is kind of just just getting us into the feels. But this has been a trending topic as well as far as the last few weeks here. Drake, this album. Talk about it, sis. What is
So
he finally plateauing, being that he's 37 now? Is are we done seeing peak Drake, or you think this was kind of enough to solidify, like, oh, he still got a little something in there, or what? Where you at?
so it's hard to say because I feel like with nowadays there's so many different sides to look at it. Like in terms of like charting
Mm-hmm.
and Billboard,
Mm-hmm.
obviously he's still on the top. You know, like I think he did like 450K first week, something crazy like that. Most of the songs debuted on the top 10.
Okay.
So he's still a very commanding force, but I feel like maybe in the last 2 years, like 2-3 years, I kind of ducked off from being like a Drake diehard fan. So I don't really have like the rose colored glasses on anymore. I liked some of the songs on For the Dogs, but I feel like everyone's talking about how Drake isn't like Drake, like his music hasn't grown. And I feel like it's not necessarily that it hasn't grown, it's that he himself has not matured.
Yes.
That's why the music is still stagnant and he's still talking about the situations that he's been talking about for the past, you know, however long he's been talking about them. He's still good at what he does. It's just that it's getting a little redundant.
If I could put it in words, I would say to accurately describe this is Drake. You ready? You ready? Drake is the modern day version, and more successful, you could say, from a musical standpoint. He is the modern day version, and probably even the light skinned version, of Ray J. Ladies and gentlemen, think about it. Okay? Ray J never really truly matured either. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
Ray J, you just be like, oh, that's Ray J. And even now, you're still kind of like, Ray J is Ray J. So,
yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong.
now it's
making excuses.
It's just like, hey, man, he's a grown man. I mean, he's grown enough to mature in certain aspects, but he's still Ray J. So you're just like, that's just Ray J. He just be Ray J.
Yeah.
Drake just be Draking, y'all. He Drake. At this
point,
7, if he hang around these young folk, now I will say, they say it's kind of troublesome out there a little bit that he's 37 hanging with these younger folks, because they like, you know, eventually you turn into the old dude at the club. And
yeah.
it's real weird and creepy. So I don't know, Ash, you thinking that? Because I see like not as own Drake as you were, because it seems like his fans are outgrowing him in a sense.
Yeah, I really do feel like that, because like the thing about Drake is that like he's a tastemaker right now. So he can walk into a room and be like, oh yeah, like, oh, Chrome Hearts, yeah, you know, whatever the case may be. He could be like, I could put you on. But will that be the same 5 years from now? I don't know. I don't know. Because, you know, that's the thing about trending and tastemakers, is that you're not, especially when you're at that level, you have so many yes men, you have so many people around you. It gets to a point where people are just telling you like, yes, whatever you're doing is hot, when it may not necessarily still be hot anymore. So
True.
We'll see. I feel like he still has a grip, because like all my friends, like my girls went to the concert this summer. Like, you know, like Drake's still number one in a lot of people's eyes. So I get it.
Speaking of number one, that was the perfect way to not only segue, but just to close out this final part of this segment. Speaking of number ones, while we're on the subject of this, maybe we're going to be on two opposite sides of the field here. It's fine. But I need to know, and just help me settle this once and for all. Number one, that's a perfect title, because literally Drake has apparently tied Michael Jackson for all-time number one hits, with the, you know, and to the J. Cole fans out there, shout out to my boy Derek, and says he produces this and watches this because he's the ultimate J. Cole fan. Apparently J. Cole got his first ever number one thanks to First Person Shooter with Drake.
Wow.
And yeah, wow, right? And, you know, Cole's been charting a lot lately anyway, in like top, because of the features. He's been going on a feature crazy run lately. The thing that gets me though is that by J. Cole getting his first number one ever, right, given his career, that's dope, and I love that for him. The thing to me about Drake though, and I've been listening to different debates on it and things like that, and I have to know when it comes to this here, please tell me, like, is he surpassed Michael? Is he the new number one? Is Michael still Michael? Like, where are you at on this GOAT conversation? Because musically, this seems to be the LeBron, Michael Jordan kind of conversation here.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to me. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Talk about it.
Just because Michael Jackson was an entertainer, Drake is a rapper. Not to say that that's like anything wrong with that, of course, but to compare the two people, Michael could just stand there for 15 minutes and you would have to get the stretcher. Like, the impact is not the same. Like, the impact is definitely not the same. That being said, though, I do feel like with like the hyper individualism of like our culture, like currently going on right now, and how people really, really attach themselves to celebrities, obviously Drake's gonna move a room if he walks into a place. He's a star. He's like one of the few like mega stars that we still have.
Yes.
from past gens. So he definitely can hold his own, but like to compare him to Michael Jackson, who did pure sales, I don't think it's fair. I don't think that that's fair. Streaming, the counting towards everything is just like the metrics are all off for me. The metrics are off.
And I know they're saying it's a generational thing when they talk about like streams and album sales and all that, but like, I was telling people this all the time. I'm like, dude, you do realize, despite the fact whether people want to buy them or not, you know that CDs still get sold in stores, right? You can go, you can go to Target. There's still CDs there. There's still vinyls have made their comeback in one generation of priests greatly. You can still buy physical vinyls. All that counts towards sales, right? So at the end of the day, it's not that records aren't being bought anymore. And the way streaming's getting these days, at some point, people are going to go back to getting their own physical
media,
because they're starting to appreciate that now and understanding the fact that once if a Spotify crashes and shuts down, your entire library is gone.
Yeah.
If Apple Music crashes tomorrow, your entire library is gone. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You gotta go buy something physical if you want to listen to what you like. So
yeah,
it's one of those things that get me, and I totally agree. So I had to get your aspect because that's where I'm at. I'm like, bro, so we on the same page. I thought we'd be a little opposite.
Okay.
A Drake individual, so I thought you'd side with him a little bit more here. But I'm like, nah, man, look, it's gonna be Michael regardless. Okay, there's levels. There's levels to this, and it's just like I say with people who are LeBron fans. I'm like, look, I get it. All right, longevity, he got that. But things that Jordan did that LeBron just won't be able to do. It's two different eras and two different times. Man.
Yeah, like you can't outdo the doer. Like you just cannot outdo the doer. like
give respect where respect is due. Shout out Drake had longevity.
And in this day and age, that is incredibly hard to be able to stay relevant and not become just a meme. Or to be able, if you become a meme, to be able to capitalize off that and make it your own instead of you being the butt of the joke. That's very hard to do in this time, in this age.
It is. It really is. And, that couldn't be any better put or said, given the fact that we got a lot of meme-worthy stuff from the wrestling week anyway. So that's a perfect way. So that about does it for this edition of What's Cooking, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everything basically non-wrestling related. But we kind of just, let y'all know what's been going on out here in these streets outside of wrestling and all that good stuff. And we here. So appreciate y'all, for tuning in. So now to my wrestling folk, we finna get y'all what y'all came here for. All right? We're giving that to you. So come on in. You know what I mean? So with that being said, all right. As I mentioned, we're gonna bring back this also loving popular segment from back in the day, man. So shout out to my OG listeners out there, watchers, listeners. If you followed the show, from day one, I appreciate y'all and I love y'all so much for all the subscribes, all the likes, all that good stuff. We're still on the road to 100, by the way. So we will definitely do something super special for episode 100. Also, in this brief moment before even getting into this segment, let me just take this time to also say, as we get ready to do interviews again, I know some of y'all are probably wondering, like, hey, man, where are the interviews too? We're getting back to that. Don't you worry. But I got to discuss some stuff with my co-hostess here on how we're going to do that for you guys because I'm thinking about doing some exclusive content in terms of like maybe a Patreon or maybe something like that, just to see so we can, know who's truly there supporting us. But I'm gonna wait till we do some stuff. We're gonna do some more live kind of opportunities. Shout out to my boy Gresh from Gresh Unleashed. We just did a live recording last night from Halloween Havoc Night 2. And so definitely make sure if you're one of those who came over from the Gresh Unleashed podcast and listening to over here at the Let's Botch podcast, thank y'all so much for rocking with us as well. But most importantly, man, we're going to do some stuff where me and Ash go live when we can as well. If schedules align, we're definitely going to try to do some live type of opportunities for you guys so y'all can truly interact with us. But also, we want to try to provide. So like as we do some things, we would love y'all to show support for us. financially. We ain't trying to break nobody's pockets, but for sure we would love to reap in some stuff so we can kind of just, for the time we lay out to give you guys this content, we would love to get some support from y'all. So definitely the interviews will be making their comeback. If the goal is, if I can't get some to you guys this year, definitely at the top of next year. I'm already starting to line up content creators and people that I'm eyeing that I want to bring on that we can collaborate with and have just a phenomenal time. So keep it locked, stay tuned, but just know as we get to episode 100, I will be doing callback, and I'm going to take a lot of just what made this show what it is today and try to get a lot of these people on that have been on before prior so that we can make this a phenomenal 100 celebration. But with that being said, we are bringing back a popular segment called Babyface or Heel, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're new to the pod and you don't know what this segment was, like I said, shout out to my OG listeners out there who remember this segment. Babyface or Heel is basically where it's a scenario of sorts. It's where you kind of just take a situation and you decide to tackle it where you're like, I'm going to attack this in a babyface kind of way, or I'm going to attack this in a heel kind of way, wherever your perspective is at on this scenario. This could be a combination of anything wrestling related. This could be a combination of anything non-wrestling related. That's the beauty of this. It can work a little bit of either or. So, Ash, have you had a chance to prepare a few scenarios for yourself? If not, it's all good. I got you. Don't worry.
I think I have like one or two. I've got a couple.
You know, I'm a gentleman in this thing, so I'm gonna let you kick it off with the first one you got, and and I'll bring some in for you as well. So let's do this thing. Let's get into it.
Okay, so I decided for this one, Babyface or Heel, to do a wrestling related one, my first one.
Okay.
And this scenario, we're gonna take it back.
Okay.
We're gonna take it back to SummerSlam 2021.
Ooh, okay. Ooh,
okay.
All right.
This to me is one of my biggest what ifs in wrestling history. Okay. Right? Sasha Banks versus Bianca. Obviously, that rematch match never happened. To this day, we still do not know the reason.
Okay.
There was a whole bunch of things that were billed for that situation. Like there was even at one point we were supposed to get Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks versus John Cena and Bianca Belair in a tag match for an episode of SmackDown. There was just like a whole bunch of things that were supposed to happen for this that unfortunately did not happen.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to the billing, they billed Sasha Banks literally up until Bianca came out of Gorilla. And she's walking down, waving her braid, happy as can be, walking to the ring. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're all like, oh my God, it's about to go down. Mm-hmm. For some reason, they now tell us that Sasha Banks is not going to be in the match and it's going to be Carmella. Now, if you are Carmella, who is now coming outside to the biggest disappointed crowd possibly in a very long time, do you come out as Babyface? Like, oh, I'm just happy to be here. I'm going to make the most of this moment. Or do you come down as like, screw you guys. I'm here. Sasha Banks couldn't make it. This is my moment. I'm going to soak it in and let me get myself off.
Yeah.
So are you?
This is beautiful. I like it. Well, on my perspective of that, I am gonna say I'm going full-fledged heel, man. Like, what? Like, that. I know what you guys were expecting, and I don't care. I'm here. I'm finna take my moment. I'm going for this. Give me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going full-on heel.
Same.
At that time, the sad part about it is we had seen it so many times. And it's like, my guy, how many times? I mean, honey, how many times do you have to lose to Bianca Belair? Because the sad part is, prior to that moment, she had already beaten you, like, I don't know how many times.
Several times, yeah. Like they were in like some week-to-week hell.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, we kind of know how this is gonna go. But I'm going heel for the fact that I'd be heel in her case, but I'm also going heel because you brought up a bad memory that unfortunately well, because me
Oh
and
man.
watched that same SummerSlam at the movie theater, and I'll never forget how the whole room felt. Okay, the moment we saw Becky's music hit, and we said, "Oh, yo, Becky
Yeah.
back," and then like everybody's tripping. They're like, "Yo, holy crap, holy,"
Yeah.
match starts. You're like, all right, bet it's going down. Let's go. Don't know why they
Barn burner.
this the first time, right? Because you could have did this instead of Carmella, but okay, cool. Let's go. And then manhandle slam. 1, 2, 3. What?
26 seconds.
The
That honestly has to be like the top 5 most emotional journeys I've ever been on. From like the video package, the amazing video package of being like, this is history, to Sasha Banks not being there, to just being like completely deflated, Carmella coming out, to now being upset, to now having Becky coming out, to being like, oh my God, this is kind of lit, to then Bianca losing in 26 seconds, to just being like deflated again. It was like, what just happened? Like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, that specific SummerSlam was definitely. Imagine watching that in a movie theater like me and Gresh did. Okay, that
I'll be tight.
First off, the show was incredibly long, like too long.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just had a bunch of just like it just was kind of like imagine a flat line with your life, and it's like beep beep showing a little sign of life.
Yeah.
Right, and then you get edge of life, right? And you're like, oh
yeah, okay.
And then all of a sudden, complications again, and now you're kind of slowly,
yeah,
you straight up flat line. By the time you got to the last part of that show, it was like straight up flat line. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I'm dead.
I don't know where Sasha Banks is. Like I was livid. Like I was livid. I was over it. The minute that Beck like Bianca lost, I was like, yep. Anyway, so anywho.
But totally a heel on that whole thing just automatically turned me heel now. Now that I think about it, I'm heel on that entire scenario. I'm heel from Carmella. I'm coming out. I'm saying screw all of y'all. This is my moment. I'm taking it back. I'm saying
facts.
Heel for Sasha Banks / Mercedes, and the fact that you bastards really just promoted me, and the fact of making me think I was gonna be here the entire time, and you knew I wasn't gonna be there.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Like,
and, y'all knew this. You ain't trying to build it up, heel in Bianca's case, because y'all put me in this predicament to begin with, to build up a match that I never really had. I have to beat up somebody I beat up a million times, and then lose somebody who comes back in 26 seconds, heel on that too. So y'all get heels. The whole thing.
Top to bottom.
Is it safe to say you same here, or where you at on that?
Heel top to bottom. Like that whole scenario, just thinking about it gets me hot. Like just thinking about it gets me hot. Like,
okay. Okay. So it's my turn. Let me swap it over, and I'm gonna do a non-wrestling related one here.
Okay.
This is actually fitting because this is dedicated to the ladies, and you being a lady in the room here, this is gonna really be interesting. So this is two perspective of the gentleman here and the lady there. So let's talk about this for a second. So you're a woman. Let's say yes. Right? I'm gonna bring hubby into the fold here. Okay, let's take a little trip back. Let's go way back in the vault. We're gonna go back some more. All right.
Okay.
To take you back to the moment you met your hubby for the first time. Okay, before you even knew the man was gonna turn into your eventual husband. Take you back to the first date. Now you remember the first date, so bring that memory up for a second. Now, the very first date. So he did what you did. I'm not sure who spit game at who. My man spit game at you. So let's say, okay, he spit the game. You're like, hey, and you're like, okay, all right, I'm gonna give him some play. All right, we're gonna see what's up. First date, set up, laid out. You don't know what's coming. You don't. You just know first date's on the horizon. You excited, you're nervous, you little, all the emotions, whatever. You get cute, you do your thing. All right. Yeah. And my man's literally pulls up with you, you know, you looking all nice, you got, you know, you fly, all right, cool, he fly, you know what I'm saying, swag on point, check, all right, so he pulls up, and y'all, next thing you know it, on the first date, like I said, you don't know where you're going, you just know it's planned, and you pull up, and you're at the Cheesecake Factory. Ladies and gentlemen, where I'm going with this. You're at the Cheesecake
I'm done.
And all of a sudden, you are like feeling absurd. You're like, hold on, I need to pull out the phone. Y'all, this man is really taking me to the Cheesecake Factory. The Cheesecake Factory? I'm sorry. This is the Cheesecake Factory. Like, no, this is a chained restaurant. I only do 5 stars that are basically, you know, hello, meant to be a chain at some point, because that's the goal of any restaurant, I would think.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask, you know, because you know where I'm going here. So I ask you now, since I brought you in this scenario here as the lady.
Yes.
Babyface, are you going heel on this scenario, trying to clown your mans for taking you to Cheesecake Factory?
I mean, hold on. Going babyface or heel in this scenario. So if I go face, I'm in support of him?
Pretty much. Like,
okay.
You know, I brought y'all into the scenario where I'm obviously making fun of another scenario.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
So I'm gonna go face.
Okay.
So when it comes to that entire scenario is so dumb. It's so dumb. Like it's so dumb because it's like, girl, it's the first date.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't know what the vibe is. You don't know if this, like, you don't, like, he doesn't know what the vibe is with you. Y'all don't know if you're gonna gel. Obviously, I feel like most women, the reason why a lot of women expect like Michelin star restaurants off the first off rip is because they feel like they're worth that. And then when they pull up to Cheesecake Factory, it's like, oh, so this is what I'm worth. When that's not the mental thought process from the male's perspective at all. It's kind of just like, all right, I like baby girl, I'm gonna take her somewhere nice. And to me, somewhere nice is Cheesecake Factory. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. So I was in support. I was in support of the man in this scenario.
That right there is the signification of a real one. Okay. Don't let the looks fool you. That's a real one. Okay? No, I got the looks and I got the real smarts to let you know. Hey, but I mean, again, to my ladies out there, you know, hey, if you like what you like, more power to you. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
But if that's what you like, you need to go where what you like is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you like, you need to go to like these little upscale, whatever the case may be, places. You can't just have like some man walk up to you in CVS and think that he's gonna take you to freaking Carbone. Like, come on, girl. Like,
no, seriously, for real. Because I mean, dog, like, yeah, because for me, it was like, you know, I had to for the fellas out there, like, I feel the pain, brothers, I get it. All right, it's slim pickings out here. It's hard, you know what I mean? It's bad enough that it's like, okay, well, you know what you want. And I mean, we ain't out here picky or nothing. I mean, obviously, if we come across a bad one, it's like, yo, we got a bad one. We bagged that.
Yeah.
Cool, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you're trying to do something like nice, you know, because again, Cheesecake Factory it's not Applebee's. It ain't freaking Longhorn. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing, you know, you talk about chain restaurants, bruh. I ain't taking you to Chuck E. Cheese. I ain't you know, like, you know, Ryan's or Shoney's, you know, for the throwback out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Golden Corral. Like, no,
I'm
bro.
weak.
Cheesecake Factory, do you know these prices? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's low-key kind of up there in price.
They super uppity, bro. They ain't cheap. So, like, bro, if we going full out at a Cheesecake Factory, you need to mind you, it's upscale. You ain't just going in there looking like nothing. You ain't going in there in no jersey.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna dress up a little bit and go, you know, do your thing. So,
yeah.
It is what it is, but you know.
Yeah, people in general just need to be more kind. and more understanding of each other. Because like that's just so mean. That's just so mean. Like that's just so mean. To pull out your phone and film a whole video, like nah.
Come on now. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. I respect that. All right, so we got time for one more scenario. So I'm gonna pitch this one over to you real quick, Ash. Show me what you got on this final version for Babyface and Heel.
Okay, so this one is non-wrestling related too. Okay.
All right.
So me and my girls and like a couple other friends, it's my cousin's birthday. She's like a sister to me. Like we're like the same age.
Okay.
She's like maybe like 2-3 months older than me.
Okay.
We always celebrate, her birthday is November 1st. So we always celebrate her Halloween weekend, like extravaganza birthday. Like it's always like a 3-day nonstop dinners, brunch, party, like the whole 9.
Okay.
We make plans to go to this place. Now I'm not gonna say the name of the place. I'm not gonna say the name of the place.
Oh.
So we made a reservation for 10 people, like for this club. It's like a lounge in the city. And
right.
for my people who are from New York, this is like Dykeman area.
Okay.
So basically we get there. The reservation was for 11 o'clock. Okay. Like my sister, she confirmed everything with the promoter. We're like, okay, we pull up, baddies everywhere. The place next to us is playing dope music. Everybody's in Halloween costumes. Everybody's like, oh, you look amazing. You look amazing. We're like, it's going to be a great night.
Yeah. Okay.
The line starts going down the block. Ooh. The club is supposed to open at 11 o'clock. It's now 11:15.
Oh.
11:30 passes. 11:45 passes. It now hits 12 o'clock. We are in the same spot in line. We come to the conclusion that basically they're trying to essentially kind of like generate buzz because they were open and then they closed and then they reopened. So, that we're probably thinking there's probably somebody with a drone right now flying over us being like, oh, packed out, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. They are checking the IDs like this, 3 minutes at a time, 3 minutes a person. The crowd starts getting rowdy. There's like it was so funny. There's like a whole group of like grannies, like they're all like in Halloween costumes. Mm-hmm. They when they came, they were like dancing with their little walkers and stuff. Everybody having high energy. Hour later, they're getting ready to beat up this cute little devil girl. I was like, oh my God, people are arguing with each other. And then they're telling people who have a section, stand over here. People who don't have a section, stand over here. Single file line, all of these different instructions, so disorganized. Mm-hmm. Finally, it hits 12:20 and they go, all the men on this side and all of the girls on this side. So we basically think that they're going to try to now ask the men to pay to get in. Mm-hmm. So we hop out the line and we're like, absolutely not. Come to find out that they like security was asking people to pay them under the table to get in. They had people standing out there from 3 a.m. for capacity, all like saying that they were at capacity. It was just ridiculous. So in that scenario, are you going Babyface or are you going heel? I feel like this was a little more obvious, but
yeah, man, absolutely heel. Like to the third degree on some Miz. Yeah. Grayson Waller, the heelest of the heel, okay?
Yeah.
Full fledged. Austin Theory is a corny heel. I'm not gonna say that one, but we want full fledged heel, okay? Like,
yeah,
y'all finna.
I almost did
all of this. Like,
I almost did.
Almost now. So wait. So if you say almost, I mean you going Babyface.
No, like we almost like went crazy. Like we almost were like in there like, this is ridiculous. Like we were talking to the security guards. He was getting rowdy with us. I was like, so this is your job. You are here on the clock. Like, what do you like? Why are you getting mad at me for? Nobody told you to clock in today. Like,
yeah, them security guards be taking that job just a little too serious. I mean,
my God.
Quality control, I get it, right? Sometimes people challenge you and you got to put, I get it. I've done security a couple of times. I get it. But dog, come on now. You can't, you gotta have some kind of like good personality and respect to you at the same time. Like if ain't nobody disrespecting you, why you respect them? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just because you got the gun and the taser don't mean you supposed to be.
Come on now. Like Man, my sister texted some other promoter like 2 blocks down. We got in less than 10 minutes. We got in less than 10 minutes.
You know what's funny is that when you said this, I'm gonna tell you what came to my mind the moment you said they tried to break y'all up in groups here, all the women here and all the fellas here. You ever seen Rush Hour 2 with Chris Tucker and Jack? Okay, I'm gonna take you back to that club scene, right? You know, when they club, all the Asians and so then Carter gets the word that, oh, we're not on vacation in this moment. We're on like a whole mission right now. Like we're looking for members of the triad. And when realization, he having fun, he's singing karaoke, Michael Jackson, all that, this and that, acting a fool. Then the moment he gets like, no, we're here looking for this, and he's like, oh great, now I gotta turn to a cop. Everybody listen up. I need all the five women on this side and all the men and the ugly women on this side right now. Like that's just head right now hearing this.
So ridiculous.
That at the club where I'm like, and the fact that nobody listened to him, literally nobody. Like those Asians looked at him like.
They didn't listen. We didn't listen to him either. We're all just looking at him like he had 5 heads. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? We're all in the same section together. Like, what do you mean?
It was that's
club culture sometimes. Ugh.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that right there, Babyface or heel reimagined in modern day sense. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all love it. It has returned. It is one of my favorite segments. I love it. And I hope Ash loves it now that she's experienced.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It's a very fun segment. I had to bring that back, again for my OGs and so to our new listeners out there, man. So Babyface or heel will be back on a regular basis for y'all. If y'all likes that and y'all want to shoot some scenarios our way, DM us, hit us up on the gram or anything like that, man. Shoot it in the comments, all that good stuff. Let us know, and we'll definitely try to incorporate that for next week's segment, all that good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time where I need everybody to get in the car with your boy. All aboard. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the keys, car keys here, you know what I'm saying? And put the key into the ignition.
Oh, okay.
We finna get ready to fly on down, you know what I'm saying? We in the whip. All right, so I need everybody to make sure your seatbelts is fastened. Make sure y'all don't step out of pocket upon the way, as you see the sights along the way. You can look, but you can't touch. See the pun in there? All right.
Okay.
Yeah, the music live, baby, and we finna get ready to head down the block. Where we going? Oh, I'll tell you. We going to Benny's block, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Coming through the block. This is the segment that everybody loves, everybody's favorite segment with the lovely Ash Benny, where we are in Benny's block. Benny, what's happening?
What's up? Okay, so I want to talk about a couple of things from a couple different promotions. Okay. So I want to start with Raw. Okay. Raw last night, or Raw Monday night.
Okay, let's do it.
First off, I have to mention Michael Cole, because we have to pull up the clip from a couple weeks ago when I accidentally called Candice LeRae Candice Michelle, because I did the exact same thing a couple weeks ago on the pod that Michael Cole did, which is so funny. Which is so funny to me.
We're gonna do. I got you. I'm gonna find. I'm gonna find when he said that, and I'm totally gonna do that. We're gonna do that for the world. I love it.
Because I was like, see, I was like, she hasn't touched this ring, a WWE ring in years, but it is easy to get them mixed up for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, too many Candices that I know of in WWE, so when you think about it, kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So in general, though, we have to talk about like just the disrespect that Candice LeRae has been getting on since since her transition into the main roster. Like, it just has not been, they haven't really been giving her anything to do. Anytime that they give her a match, the match is no more than like 5 minutes long. And to have that match on Monday night end because Xia Li knocked her out. It's just making Candice, well, while it makes Xia look like a very like formidable opponent, and it's kind of adding more momentum to her, it's just making Candice look like a jobber when she is not a jobber.
Yeah, that's a good point. She's had a lot of matches on main event. I noticed in the past. Ironically, a couple where she beat Xia Li, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And one thing about that is it's always funny because everybody unfortunately can't, climb to the top right away, right?
Yeah,
now,
of course.
Johnny Gargano, in fairness, wasn't necessarily getting the same in his solo runs either. But as you can see with DIY, suddenly things about to change. And I personally think they're going to recreate that DIY story.
Yeah, there's a direction.
As you hinted. Yeah, you can hear Michael Cole kind of plant like, oh yeah, these two were rivals for so many years and things like that. And it's almost like Triple H wants to recreate that story in the main roster and kind of do it.
Which I would love.
You know what I mean? Which will catapult them both in their singles runs. In a
sense,
right? So we'll see how that plays out. But going back to your Candice LeRae, make sure I didn't say Michelle. Back to your Candice LeRae situation here. I did peep that. And two things came to mind here because I was like, Xia Li is stiff. So did she actually knock you out, or did you just do one heck of a job selling like you knocked out? Because I couldn't tell.
I think it was a good sell. I think it was a very, very good selling job because she fell back. Whereas, like, if she were to actually knock out, I think she would like have fallen like forward.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean.
There were instances like Mercedes Martinez. She knocked her off for real.
Yeah. I remember that. I saw that circulating on Twitter. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like she fell forward. Like she knocked that girl. Like, yeah.
Saw the arm kind of like somewhat delay like that. I was like, yeah, you knocked out. Like, so that's why I was like, Xia, you gotta be careful because I know she's stiff. I like the stiffness. I
me too.
I love it. It gives more legitimacy to it. Like, man, you
yeah,
can't tell if they pulling or they legit hitting you right now. I love it. Right?
Yeah.
RVDs of the world, all them people that like stiff, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
box with it. But yeah, no, that's a good point on her. Indy's also kind of falling in that same light because you would think in a world with no tag division, me and Gresh were talking about that last night, and we were like, you know what? Yeah, this goes back to the conversation we had. Shout out to y'all on our TikTok that's been reacting to the clip where we were talking about the women's tag team titles. Maybe Ash Benny mostly. I don't know, y'all. I know it's probably Ash Benny, y'all, but y'all that clip not even 2 seconds, and that thing had over 800 views, and I'm like, whoa.
Oh wow.
They you know what I'm saying? Either they're really concerned about the ladies right now, or they really love Ash. Either or, it was what it was. Yeah, shout out to y'all on TikTok. But
yeah, shout out to y'all.
This is what's maybe that mid card title is needed because for the ones floating like that, it's like, well, we can't put you in the main event picture here.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're just throwing women together as a tag team just to make contenders for Chelsea and them or whoever the tag team champs are at the time.
Yeah.
And we're just going to once we have no challengers, we're just going to let them kind of just parade around with the titles.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And you know what's crazy? Like, we'll get deeper into like talking about Becky when we get into NXT. But Becky low-key did a great little trial run for a mid-card title with this NXT run. She low-key did, like she only picked people who we haven't seen in a while, besides Natalya, of course. But Natalya, one thing about Natalya, she's gonna sneak her way right in. Like she's gonna be like,
that's what she does.
Yeah, like I respect it. But I feel like she low-key kind of put in a great pitch for a mid-card title. And I do feel like there is an argument to be made that it's needed because in terms of the tag titles, they're not doing anything with them. For real.
No, yeah. And it's very evident, man, because again, you just, like my thought was, as I shared with Gresh last night, I was like, Well, you can still have tag titles, but let it just be an NXT exclusive kind of thing, because
Yeah.
you can see where they have women in pairs like a Jakara Jackson or Lash Legend. They
Yes.
released what was her name?
Yulissa.
Yulissa? Yeah, like
Yulissa.
before they released her,
And Valentina.
Valentina were, to me, I liked them as a Latin.
They were amazing. They were amazing.
Electra Lopez and Lola Vice seem to work together very well. I guess you could do the Latina tag team thing with them, but I haven't seen Electra wrestle in God knows how long.
I know it's been a minute.
Yeah, she's been, I don't know if she's hurt.
Yeah. I'm happy she's still featured. I'm happy she's still featured though, but
yeah.
Damn.
So, yeah, exactly.
But damn, like
you literally went from Legato being like a China level type. Like she was Rhea before Rhea, if you think about it.
Yeah. And plus, like her like presentation, her Tron and everything, like the elevator, is fire. Like she has a dope like presentation and package. I think it's just like they need to find the right face to put her against.
Yeah, or something, man. I'm hoping she gets that opportunity, whatever's going on that department. But even with her and Lola Vice, that's a potential like legit tag team. They gel together.
Thea and JC.
Yeah, JC.
There's so much.
Yeah, if you want to, that's a funny one right there. You know that I guess they could be one in a sense. You know?
They're kind of together. They've been together for the past couple of weeks now.
Yeah, I mean,
they just challenged last night.
All the issues, you know, you can't trust JC. No, that's kind of her reputation. Look what she did to her. You know, she couldn't even stay faithful. You know what I'm saying? Turn your back. You know, because let's be honest, toxic attraction still could have been a thing. You know, I'm just saying, because she's
R.I.P. toxic attraction
winning lately for whatever reason. I'm like, well, what's the point of splitting these two up?
If you're gonna just put the one in a tag again.
Yeah, neither one of them have done anything prominent right now since splitting.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, I guess. Maybe it just will make them think of, maybe because Mandy's not there, I guess they just aren't toxic attraction without Mandy, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, like I guess they could turn into a thing if they wanted to go that route. I mean, it was cute that they had the little matching gear, so I guess in a sense, yeah, they could be something. But
yeah, it works.
You get what I mean? Like NXT seems to be more of the field because the tag titles could be a developmental thing.
Yeah.
Where the women are, if they're not ready to be like a solo attraction, put them together where you can take the strips, because tag team partners, that's the beauty of tag team wrestling. Usually it's a strength. Your strength hides my weakness and vice versa.
Exactly.
You're not technically sound, but you're incredibly fast or incredibly strong.
Yeah.
I'm this. Okay, well then that works. I am this way, you are that way, so together we gel. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe you're really good on the mic, but your in-ring skills aren't the best, but I'm the in-ring person and my mic skills suck.
Yeah, it's like a balance.
It's a balance, right? So it, you know, and then sometimes both are good in their own right, you know, some Montez Ford and
Angela.
It's kind of thinking, you know, despite the fact that's something else we gotta, you know, touch on briefly. I have beef with that list I saw. But we'll get
to yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Got a little beef with that list, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But yeah, Ash. So let's that's my thought on the tag team situation. I think they should just not necessarily throw them completely away. Just, you really should just have an NXT tag team win them, keep them there, let them, and just turn that into an exclusive thing. And then
for sure,
create a main roster mid-card title to where then if maybe some of the NXT women want to come challenge for it in an open challenge, they can do that.
And it's also a great opportunity to give them some shine, get the main roster general public audiences familiar with them. Like I feel like that's like a great opportunity. And plus we can randomly one week, these two girls get in a Twitter beef, and then they're like, you know what, I'm coming down to NXT and I want to see you say that to my face. And now it's a tag match, you know, like very, very easy to make things work.
Yeah, like it just, to me, it just feels like that's more sound, because again, when you have a tag team division in NXT, because NXT has so many women, but not necessarily all of them are ready for their own single spotlight. So what better?
Yeah.
Plus you got those twins.
Oh, the Cavender twins.
Cavender twins, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many women where it's like you still need those tag titles. You just take them out. You can reinvent them in a sense. Like basically the bad taste they have in people's mouths. Like this is like a reverse break the curse kind of thing, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
If you completely wipe them from the existence of the main roster, but not wipe them out completely, just bring them to NXT. They did get merged with those titles, so technically there's nothing wrong with doing that. Let the women who aren't ready to be single stars be tag teams legitimately. Let them be a nice starting catapult. And then when someone or both of them start to shine, and it's like, okay, maybe it's time for us to split, go our separate ways, and try our shot at the NXT women's title. They can then do that.
Right? Yeah.
And then next thing you know, if they're ready, you'll know by that point, and you'll say, yeah, it's time for them to either win this title or get to the main roster. And now you can, again, challenge for the title or challenge for the main roster titles, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents there. But what else, what else you got in Benny's block with what's going on in the ladies' world?
Yeah, so continuing with Raw, I'm super excited about Ivy Nile. Like the Creed brothers debuted, but she did come up with them onto the main roster. Super, super happy for them. I feel like it was overdue. And honestly, I love the whole entire interaction that Maxine and Ivy had. It was very diva when Ivy like German suplex to Zawa. I really hope that this kind of turns into like a full-blown feud, because in general, the match was awesome as well. So I'm hoping that we get like a back and forth between all parties of those two factions.
It's funny you say that. Real quick on that note, me and Gresh were actually talking about that last night on the show, and we kind of found, we were like, it's amazing how much they mirror each other, right? In terms of like dynamic.
Yeah.
And Gresh was saying like, they should merge and, instead of Diamond Mine, just make them a part of Alpha Academy where it would still work even with two.
Yeah.
Now being a wrestler, Maxine has gotten in the ring, but she fits more of the manager side to where she can be the female manager. Ivy now can actually be the woman that wrestles and title contentions and stuff like that. And then you got the Creeds, I guess, because think about it, Chad's kind of still teasing that Intercontinental title situation. So I guess he could be an IC champ. Don't necessarily know what you would do with Big Otis per se.
Yeah.
So don't need to do anything. I guess he could just be there. I don't know how that would work just yet, but Creed brothers, potential tag team champs, stuff like that. And then like he was saying, the screen dynamic between an Ivy Nile with a Maxine in the training dojo. That's like a month's worth of just dope vignettes.
Content. Yeah.
So in that idea, again, credit to my boy Gresh, because this is his, thought. I'm just transitioning it over here to see what you would think about that. Like, do you think that would work, or do you think it's better off if they're separate as just rivals and it just working how it is?
I could see that. I could actually see that working, because like they do kind of have the same vibe. They have the same energy. And I feel like I could maybe potentially see them like doing a feud, and then it ends with, the sign of respect, and they shake hands, and maybe somehow they merge, or something happens along those lines. So I think that's actually a dope idea.
Yeah. So WWE, if you do decide to make that happen, I guess to our listeners out there, y'all know where this came from. Okay, shout out to my boy Gresh that came from Gresh on this podcast. You heard it here and you heard it there. You feel me? Yes. So y'all know, I know these representatives of WWE be listening to these wrestling pods out here. Yeah, they be listening.
Yeah,
can't tell you how many
times. They be tuned in.
Yeah, because you said yourself, look, you messed around, called Candice LeRae, Candice Michelle, and what happened? Michael did the same thing. So clearly, listening to us. I'm just saying, just letting you know. But where we going now? We still keeping it with Raw, or where we headed to with the ladies now?
So we're finishing out Raw with celebrating Chelsea Green's first main roster win.
Ah, yes.
First main roster win, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, but
wow.
Seeing that she's jobbed basically since winning the tag titles, but
the troll on the hearts for Halloween was an interesting twist. I said,
yeah,
you're gonna be Brett, and then the nerve of Piper to be Natalia's father. I'm like,
to be Jim Neidhart was hilarious.
Yeah,
I like it. Their energy is so good. They need to give them a feud. They need to give them something to do past having a singles match every single week. And plus, the entire interaction with Nikki was hilarious. I don't know what the hell is going on with Nikki right now, like, but I'm enjoying it. I'm sports entertained. That's what I like to call things that are camp, high camp.
yeah.
I'm very sports entertained by this.
She's always an interesting character because it's always interesting to see what they're doing with her exactly. Because there was the whole stalker with
obsessed with Candace angle, and I'm kind of hoping that like Isla and Alba did something to her, so where like they kind of like, because I'm also kind of hoping that Alba and Isla, I really hope that they go with the storyline that they curse the titles, which is why there's been so much going on and all of this like tomfoolery since since that whole transition. So I'm kind of hoping that she plays a part in it, but also shout out to Nikki Cross and her ability to just not break character. Because when they lifted the pumpkin, like if that were me, like I would have been giggling under that table. I would have not been able to keep a straight face. Her commitment was hilarious.
She's sticking to it. I was like, but she's always been pretty good at doing that. So shout out to you, Nikki. You're doing your thing. Yeah.
So that is too funny. So next, we're gonna go on over to NXT. Obviously, there's been a whole bunch of women's stuff going on in NXT. I just want to give a huge shout out to Carmen Petrovic, to Jada Parker, to Kaylani Jordan. Kaylani was robbed last night, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Jakara Jackson, even though she unfortunately wasn't able to be in the tournament. Ariana Grace. There were so many amazing competitors for this women's breakout tournament. I feel like this versus last year is really like Sean showing his him flexing his muscles and being like, look at how well presented these women are already. Mm-hmm. My ongoing theory was before Jakara was injured, I thought Jakara was gonna win, and now that Lola won, I kind of, because when you think about it, Jakara was the one who had the most presentation. She's been featured the most on NXT. We were the most familiar with her as an audience member. Mm-hmm. I thought Jakara was taking it. So when she got injured, I was heartbroken. But
good point.
There was a whole lot of changes that happened that I still am kind of happy with the end result. I feel like Lola is a great pick. She's been like her persona has been people have been kind of dissecting her, like the whole entire gimmick a bit on Twitter, but I like it. I feel like it's fun, it's sexy, it's very diva, which I appreciate. Bring back that funness to wrestling. A lot of people comment on how she's always dancing in between her spots and stuff like that, but I like it. It's a lot of charisma, it's a lot of character, and it's feisty. It's very feisty.
I mean, you know what's funny? It's so funny you say that, because I just keep thinking about freaking Booker T, and in my mind, I'm like, wait, Booker, hold on, man. You don't think Charmel over there like what you say? I'm like, wait, what does Charmel think about this? Because
he be bugging.
Won the semifinal match, and so she's got her hands raised, and he's like, come on, let me see it. Let me see it. Oh yeah, there it is. Just did the little dance. I'm like, Book, wait a minute, bro. You an old married man with a fam, dog. What you think Charmel got to say about this?
I'm dead. My personal favorite is anytime that Jade comes on TV and he just goes, "Oh, shucky ducky quack quack." I'm like, I thought that was for 5-star matches. I thought that was only for classics.
Oh, shucky ducky quack quack, and like, oh, no bread, no water, just me.
That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one.
I'll be trying to clown my boy Booker on commentary. I love Booker on commentary. I don't know what y'all.
He's so funny. I love him on commentary. He's amazing.
That guy, but okay.
But
Right, so yeah, the ladies is hot in NXT for real, and we still got so many ladies like a Nikita Lyons that ain't back yet.
Who's coming back soon? Yeah, and there's so many women who have not even debuted yet formally. Like, for example, Jada Parker. Huge shout out to Jada Parker. She broke the internet the week that she debuted. Her real name is Tiana Caffey. I was talking about her a couple weeks on the show. I'm holding my little fan sign because I've been patiently waiting for her debut. So I'm so excited for everything that they have cooking with the women. Like, what, last week they had like 6 women's matches?
Yeah, man.
Which is unheard of.
I meant to text you when I saw that because I was like, yo, the women are showing out in NXT tonight, boy. I was like, because every time I turned around, I was like, wow, another women's match. Oh, another women's match. Oh, another women's match. Like, I was like,
heavily featured, which makes me so happy. And I just love how they treat it like it's normal in NXT. You know, like it's just a normal thing in NXT. And then they take the women very, very seriously, which I appreciate. Like, I really appreciate how they package and take the time to present the women properly.
I love it.
And Kehlani Jordan, I wish she won. I get why she didn't, because to have a babyface win 2 years in a row would have been like a little bit redundant. So I get the decision to have a heel win, but what a star. Like, honestly, like, she has so much potential. I'm so excited to see where she's going to go in this next year, because one thing that I said last year when the women's breakout tournament happened was like, I can't wait to see where Tiffany Stratton goes. And look at her now after that breakout tournament. And I feel like Kehlani is going to be, I feel like Kehlani, Ariana, Jada, I feel like those 3 are really, really, really going to benefit on the time that they were given through this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. You can see it. I can see like where Jada when she gets polished. Even the Petrovich chick apparently.
I love the Kill Bill vibes, the assassin vibes.
Yeah, they're seeming to be pretty behind her, so it should be interesting to see whose characters develop, what's going to happen. Even with Jakara being hurt, she's still shining, where she'll get her opportunity next year in ring to shine. That's all really left, is just to show the in ring, because from a charisma and like, she's already heavily featured as we
which I love.
Injured or not, we're not going to forget her, obviously. So it's like, we're just going to wait for when she gets that in-ring opportunity to truly shine that way, and then after that point, it's all over. Like, so
yes. And like, even like some of the stuff that Kehlani was showcasing last night, I saw like a lot of like homage to like RVD. There was like some really, really cool spots that she did. So I'm just very, very excited to see where Kehlani goes in this next year.
Now, when I spoke with Josh and he kind of reviewed their matchup, he gave that one like kind of like a 5, but more so out of a 10, but more so just dead center in the middle, more so like a neutral would say that, like, wasn't great, wasn't bad, just kind of, you can tell that these are women that are on their rise, but it's still kind of stuff to work on. So like,
yeah, of course.
Would you say you agree with those sentiments, or you kind of a little bit like, I'd give it a little more than that?
Yeah, like obviously, like when it's a developmental brand, so like I feel like I always give them like a little bit more grace because of that, even though they are trying to legitimize NXT and trying to make it more of a formal third brand to compete with Raw and SmackDown. So like obviously, like there are some things like they're not completely polished yet, but I see where it's going. You know what I'm saying? And like especially like with NXT, like I don't give formal grades for NXT unless it's like a pay-per-view or like a PLE, just because a lot of times, most of the time in NXT within the Performance Center, these matches they rehearse over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So while they might have like a really, really cool spot, it's not as organic as say them in a PLE when you're really getting to see them come up with things and have to move on the fly and have to be more creative in the spots. But yeah, there's definitely obviously some like room for improvement, of course.
Okay, I love that. I love to hear that, man. Looking forward to definitely again just seeing all these ladies shine. So let's take a little stroll. We got some other companies for sure that we can touch on for the ladies real quick and giving them their shine.
Yeah.
So let's see which one do we want to switch. Let's go over to TNA, ladies and gentlemen, because that's something I also didn't mention. I,
Ooh.
as a evident rant, I've been with TNA from the jump, and I love the fact that they're going back to their
Yeah. I'm
team.
excited about that.
Yeah, because all those name changes, man, I'll never forget the Global Force Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, TNA Impact Wrestling. It was just like, dog, please stop with these name changes, right? And
Yeah.
Impact had this nice little run as Impact Wrestling. I mean, it lasted, but TNA has always been where it's at. And to the creative, Scott D'Amore for sure, just being like, man, look, this is what built us, and we're going back.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
to me, that's exciting because that also means the women's division, the X division, all the divisions of what made TNA TNA, specifically with the knockouts. It's good to see what's going on here. So let's talk about these knockouts. We had Bound for Glory with Mickie James and Trinity, and so much more go through. What's your thoughts on the ladies in TNA?
Yeah, I'm so excited for them. Like, I'm so genuinely excited for them. I really like how basically like TNA, they're saying like we are heavy hitters. Like, we're heavy hitters too. We have a strong roster. We have extremely talented people here, and we want to showcase what we have. I'm hoping that they do like a production upgrade as well in January, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yes.
But for the knockouts, I feel like this is going to be an excellent opportunity. I feel like they've been getting a lot of shine in the past few months now that we've had like people like Trinity make that leap over and been putting on like really great matches. So I'm really, really hyped to see where it goes. The match though, Trinity versus Mickie, that was a great, great, great match. Some really, really good spots. Obviously, the one that was going super viral was, the corner spot where Trinity always does. And she booted her, and Mickie was like, don't show me a good time, girl. And picked her up and dropped her on her face. Match ends with a starstruck submission. It was a really, really good match. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's shout out to those ladies. Really, I was watching a lot of the promotion that they had, like the interviews.
Yeah.
To see the fact that it was wild to think about the fact like, yo, this is like legit their first ever meeting.
Yeah, which is criminal.
It's like Mickie was saying, like, the first time when Trinity stepped through the doors, Mickie James was kind of like on her way out. So and then as Trinity started rising, by the time Mickie did come back, we know how that secondary run.
That second run, yeah.
It was kind of forgettable because it was like
they didn't do anything with her.
And it was like we knew she could still go. We knew she could still be in the main event scene, as she's clearly still showing now.
Yeah.
For some reason, they wasted her, and it was like then to do what they did with the trash bag thing. We all know that story. So it's like,
yeah.
Now was Trinity going what she went through. The fact that Mickie was like, yeah, I was the first person that she talked to because I knew exactly what she was feeling.
That was like,
their story of that just made you want to watch this match because it was like, first time ever, a lot of history, a lot of them being really good friends. It was just a lot to it. So
yes.
Even Trinity, just to say, like, yo, I mean, I really have not really felt like the champion yet until I beat you, because that kind of story, you can't, it writes itself.
Yeah, exactly. It's organic,
and
I'm so happy for Trinity because this is what she deserves. The way that they're putting her on different news syndications, like they're having her do interviews, they're treating her like a real legitimate star and a real legitimate draw, because not to be rude, but your girl wasn't watching TNA before Trinity stepped foot in the building, like that goes to show that the woman is a straight draw, so I'm just super happy and I can't wait to see where else she goes. I know that Jordynne Grace is her next challenger, so I feel like that's going to be Trinity really, really shines with powerhouses. So I'm excited to see their dynamic and to see a feud or like how that goes week to week.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun because shout out to Jordynne Grace, a friend of the show. We've had her on here. If you're a new listener and you haven't checked out that episode, go way back into the archives. We had Jordynne Grace on the show. Hopefully, soon in the future we can get her back on as well in modern day for sure. But yes, Jordynne Grace. One thing about her, man, she can go. Okay, mixes up with the men. She mixes it up. I mean, Jordynne Grace is just like the ultimate these days, like the ultimate utility, because they plug her in wherever they need her. If they
wherever she's needed,
do it. You want to win the digital media championship? Go ahead, go for it.
Do it.
You want to call your shot and try to maybe go. Like, I'm almost surprised she hasn't, since the Tessa Blanchard situation for TNA. I'm almost surprised they haven't used Jordynne Grace to be the person to do what Tessa kind of dropped.
Yeah.
Maybe they're afraid to do that because of how that turned out with Tessa. But I mean, one day soon, I'm hoping that when Jordynne Grace, because I'm assuming she would probably lose to Trinity, and in the stellar matches they have, I hope they see like, hey, you know what? Let's reward you with the Impact TNA championship. And because she's already mixed it up with the men anyway. So like, I hope she does get to accomplish that because she's just about done everything else.
Yeah, that would be sick.
So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this feud. I still want my Tasha Steelz feud with her.
It's coming. I'm sure it's coming. I'm
waiting on it. Like, I see her and Deonna Purrazzo kind of tagged. They're friends. They got history. See, they've been kind of doing a tag team thing.
Yeah.
Putting her in that tag team, but I get it. You got to keep the women because, Deonna obviously, while being out of the title picture, needs something to do. So I just hope that when Miss Steelz gets in that single spotlight, maybe she's the one to take it from Trinity then if they're doing it.
Yeah.
No, because I think Tasha Steelz needs another run at that title. Like, that was kind of done dirty for her in my mind.
Yeah.
She
didn't really have it
without really losing the title.
Losing a title.
It was like a whole ladder match or something.
Yeah.
So I think she should get another go at that championship for sure. So maybe she'll be the person that takes it from Trinity.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's not someone from free agency, as we know, given the releases that are still pending with the
Yes.
So we'll see how that plays out. But
yeah,
props to Trinity, and props to Trinity for bringing you over here to our TNA universe.
Yeah.
There. And like I said, I'm just going to tell you now, I mean, you've probably already kind of seen it from your times of watching it, but I am an advocate for their women's division. I, for one.
They're dope.
At one point I said they have the number one, but now NXT is kind of, I almost wanted to say 1A, 1B with them two now. Only because where I give the edge to TNA because their women are a lot more experienced, but they have some women that are also kind of still inexperienced in their own right because some of these women come from straight out of the indies versus the ones, so it's like a 1A, 1B for me on best women's division right now. TNA, NXT, and then WWE's main roster would be just about there because Triple H is doing his best to kind of bring that back.
Yeah.
AEW's to me is still at the bottom of the barrel right now because it's going up and down here. Tony Storm.
That's actually a great segue for some things I gotta say.
Talk about it.
So let's talk about Dynamite. Let's talk about the Hikaru Shida match versus Ruby Soho.
Yeah.
I personally feel like I feel like I can fully say that they have completely dropped the ball with Ruby Soho. Like, in terms of her finisher, they just, Hikaru kicked out of it, 3 different times?
Yeah, man.
And then plus that whole, the whole spray can spot.
you know, with her, I almost feel like she should have went to TNA. Truth be told, I feel like they would have did her way better. Maybe
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
fits that TNA vibe to me. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that. I can see that.
I get that AEW wanted her because it was like I feel like they only grabbed her because they were just trying to stick it to WWE and just like, oh, you released another one? Okay, come on over here.
Yeah, and they definitely treated her like she was a big deal when she first came. So, what
I,
changed?
I remember because I was there. I watched a interview with Chris Stat, who's also another one we'll talk about in her own right.
Yeah.
Chris Stat did an interview. Shout out to Ring the Bell, and
Hmm.
I watched her interview there, and she talked about, you know, he brought up Ruby Soho and how, you know, they had their back and forths with their, you know, they just got that chemistry where they put on stellar matches together.
Yeah.
And I was there for the one they had. I think that was their first one. Yeah, I was there for their first meeting, and I was at that very show when they wrestled in that tournament for a shot at the championship.
Hmm.
And like that's when she was still considered a big deal.
Deal. Yeah.
And when I look at how much has changed from that moment to now, and I think Chris Stat was saying how every time, those first two times when she lost to Ruby Soho, the fans were booing Ruby Soho. And it was like, well, wait a minute, hold on, but y'all love Ruby. Why y'all booing Ruby?
Yeah.
And it was
Maybe
like, I guess
homegrown.
Stat. I guess they love Stat over Ruby.
Yeah.
Now we're looking now, the Outcast thing, we see that clearly didn't work out. She needs to separate herself from that, it seems, because Tony's over here shining since leaving.
Yeah.
Soraya's just Soraya right now.
Yeah, she wasn't even at the match, which was like kind of surprising.
Exactly. So, yeah, we got to figure this out with Ruby. We got to, you know, I'd say, sis, if you don't find your pocket and something that works for you, you know, she doesn't come off as the sports entertainment type. So I don't know what she would do if she finds anything. I mean, we see if Roddy Strong can do it, I for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and Tony Storm for that matter, because Tony Storm's as pure wrestling as you can get too. So
Facts.
knock WWE if you want, or you know, hey, maybe she goes back to the E. You know, Triple H being in full control again.
Yeah, things are different now.
Yeah, he was pretty. I want to say he was kind of high on Ruby. I want to believe.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's wait for your contract to expire, do what you need to do, and don't know how long her contract was, but just wait, you know, ride it out, wait for it to expire, go back to the E, and maybe they treat you better, or go to TNA and tear the house down and see what happens there. You know?
Yeah. Because it's honestly like I don't know what like, if the timing was off, just that whole spot with the spray can
Yeah.
destroying the title, the ref seeing it and not doing anything. It was just very confusing. It was just very confusing. But even though Ruby has been kind of having like this, I don't want to say descent, like she hasn't been getting any momentum due to or any type of good rub from the Outcast storyline. I feel like Tony just completely flipped that and just made her own narrative, her own story, and has completely like shed anything that she had previously going on and is this new character. And this new character for her is money. This is money. Like once she gets the gear style, like once she gets like a classic, I want like some type of Gone with the Wind, Scarlett O'Hara. I need her to like invest in very, very big, ostentatious, obnoxious robes, like Ric Flair level robes. I need the whole nine to fully go with the gimmick. Once she gets that, the whole entire thing is gonna take off.
Yeah.
Like merch, everything. When I think it was on Collision this past week, when she went on the announce table, like anything that she does nowadays gets trending. That's
Yeah.
how good she is. The acting work, the little timeless Tony vignettes that she's been doing, everything is fantastic. Everything is hilarious. I literally, she's one of like the main reasons why I tune in to like Dynamite and Collision.
She's carrying that women's division in ways that, and again, it's just such a it's funny because you can tell that that's not Tony Khan at all. Like she
Yeah.
did this
Yeah.
because of the fact that they have creative control there.
Mm-hmm.
She being able to do that is allowing her to shine, but it's outshining everyone else. Now I will say, you got some that are, I've been watching like Sky Blue.
Yeah, Sky Blue's been making her name.
Dynamic of going to the dark side, it seems almost.
Yeah, Julia Hart before she left, she built up a good momentum.
Yeah, like it seems like she's. I guess they're gonna do a female version of the House of Black. It seems almost.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see how that. I'm looking to see how that turns out. But
that's a great sidebar because it's not lost on me that Tony Khan picked the two most naturally over baby faces to turn heel, I think, way before they're due to turn heel. Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale are just so likable and just so easy for that to translate on camera, and also for audiences. It kind of feels like a missed opportunity and that they didn't get to tell their full stories as a babyface before making that transition into heels. They're doing their job well, but again, it's not the same as when they would just come out in their normal gear styles, their normal charisma, and I kind of miss that.
Yeah, here's a woman that I'm gonna bring up, and I want you to let me know where stock up, stock down, neutral. You let me know where you at with this, right? Freaking Anna J. Stock up. Okay, she's still trending in the right direction for you.
Yeah.
Shuffle. Okay.
They haven't given her too much to do. But in terms of like those little walk down the rings, I see her every week. People retweeting it, liking it, having conversations around it, asking like, when is Anna J gonna get a main event opportunity? So I feel like the people as well like Anna J, and they want her to do something more. So I don't know. It's just so unfortunate. There's so many women who I feel like are finding themselves, but they're kind of in this shuffle where they're either in a faction or they don't really know what to do with them on AEW. It's a shame.
That's a nice transition, because speaking of don't know what to do, how fitting was it that we randomly, ladies and gentlemen, if you forgot about this individual and that they existed, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you they are alive. Ironically, being undead as their character is, they are alive. Abaddon, y'all. Man, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you work here still. Good. Yeah, so Abaddon randomly gets a title match. Now, what my gripe here is, why do we always have to happen to see you when it's spooky season and it's Halloween?
Very gimmicky. Because she's a great wrestler. Yeah. And I feel like that whole entire match was like a really great showcase for her, even though she lost. I feel like there were like a lot of really good spots. It's just a shame that she's just kind of put in this box to just be spooky. And even if she is in this box of being spooky, they don't give her anything to do with it. There's no motivation. There's no direction. It's Halloween, so let's get her out there. Like, like that's literally the only intention.
Yeah, man, that was just so wild to me. I mean, it was props to them doing a spooky hardcore match, but it was just like, all right, but no story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think that's the biggest thing with AEW is just no story,
Yeah, man, especially when it comes to the women, because the guys are starting to get a little better with their stories. Shout out to MJF.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 stories at once, where oh, so you guys do know how to tell stories after all. So now just do this what you're doing. If you can now focus that on your women's division can be better up the ranks here. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, yo, it's amazing to me that you are maybe on paper the second biggest company, which means your roster is stacked full of women. Lots of talented women. Ladies and gentlemen, put an APB out. I need to know, okay? This is an APB officially. If you have seen her, I don't care if you've seen her on Fire. I don't care if you've seen her on Collision. I don't care if you've seen her on Dynamite, Dark, wherever. Ladies and gentlemen, please tell me, where is Red Velvet?
Yeah. Where is Red Velvet?
Please, someone tell me.
Where's Red Velvet?
Inquiring minds want to know this. Give me Red Velvet, people.
Yeah.
Bring her. I don't know where she is. I haven't seen her anywhere. So,
not since the baddie storyline. That was months ago. Months ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, please tell us, where's Red Velvet? If anyone knows, have them call the number below on this very graphic, okay? I need to know where Red Velvet is, okay?
Yeah.
1-800, help me find Velvet, okay? Thank you.
1-800, where's Velvet?
You know, that's what we do. So yeah, was there anything else that significantly stood out in terms of the ladies throughout the week?
So I fast forwarded past this one because it is involved in NXT, but Becky Lynch in a very shocking loss against Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria is our new NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, that was a shock.
That was shocking. That was genuinely shocking. I thought that maybe how it would go is that maybe Becky won, retained, something happened, because obviously Becky's a face, so it's not going to be like some type of nonsense, but something happens to where Lyra feels as though she's justified in getting a rematch, and then we move that rematch to Deadline or something, and that's where Lyra gets the moment. But I was happy that they decided to. I honestly feel like the past 2 weeks with Halloween Havoc, besides Ilya retaining, everyone was kind of like a shocking, like, oh, like Chase U was a big shock to me. Yeah. Winning, like Lola, that was another big shock to me. Winning.
You were shocked, really? Lola, man, yeah. I saw that coming because I was just like, these fans love her, man.
But yeah, she's super over. She's super talented. She also has a very set fan following outside of WWE, so it's already built in marketing for her. But I don't know. I just feel like I didn't see it happening right then, but it made sense when it happened.
That's fair. Yeah,
I wasn't opposed to it at all. I was just like, like,
yeah. I was like, okay, we'll run with it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, that's actually a good transition. To talk about NXT from night 1 and night 2 in general. And Becky Lynch with her run as the NXT Women's Champion. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for visiting us here on Benny's Block. I hope you had a great time. I hope you saw some great sights. Remember, souvenirs are after the fact. You don't touch what you see, okay? You just look. Okay. Right? Thank y'all. We thank y'all so much for that. So in that transition, we had 2 nights, 2 weeks technically, but yeah, because the night 1, night 2 thing gets me because I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold up. That technically is week 1, week 2.
Week 2, yeah.
Night 1, night 2 is like what you do at WrestleMania.
Yeah. They tried to get that off.
Like, that's not night 1, night 2. That's week 1, week 2. Part 1, part 2. Something.
Part 1, part 2. Yeah, part 1, part 2 would be better.
Something like that, guys. Like, golly. But yeah. So, but to you, let's do it this way. We won't break it down, match by match. We already kind of touched on double dabs, but I'll ask you this one: between the 2 parts, which part was more appealing to you in terms of, like, did you like night 1 or night 2 better?
As obviously as a women's wrestling fan, I love night 1, but I also love night 1 because of the excellent character work Carmelo has been doing. with this justice for Trick. Like, we gotta figure out who did this, man. We gotta put this together. It's like, we know it's you.
Such an ultimate troll, bro. Like here's a fun fact, right? So
Yeah.
shout out again to Gresh, but also this was a Twitter user who kind of came up with this theory. So
Yes.
apparently it was believed that many thought Wesley was the guy that attacked Trick.
That's a good option.
The fact that, as we know, he left. I mean, it kind of makes sense because if you go back to when Trick and Carmelo were talking backstage, you did kind of see in the background Wesley just kind of like come on in the locker room, start packing stuff, throw some stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the heck is he doing? And then that's when you're like, he left because he couldn't beat Dragunov and couldn't win the championship, which I do hope he gets that opportunity, but obviously next time. So somehow, some way, Wesley will get back in that title picture for the main event. But
yes,
we got to focus on Trick right now. This is his time, legit.
Yes.
I could see where that theory would have came true because that would have somewhat made sense, like a new motivation.
It would be a great angle for him to turn heel. Like if that were an opportunity and they were to take that, I would be like, that's actually a good way to turn him heel.
Yeah, that would have been. But then, unfortunately, as we saw, Dominic Mysterio wins on Nathan Frazier, and what do you know? Oh, look, Wesley. And he's coming back for what he lost.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense. Beat the guy who beats you for that title. That makes sense, right? I see it. I can feel that. But then that kills that theory because now the prime suspect is the obvious. Carmelo, you did it. It was you. All along, wasn't it? As I said last night, it was the Triple H Shawn Michaels angle. A figure. Shawn Michaels running creative down there. Of course, he's telling that story amongst friends. He's going at it for years and wars. Yeah, it was you, Hunter. You all along. You're damn right. It was me. It was me, and I'd do it again. So
iconic.
Yeah. So of course, Trick. Now they left us on a cliffhanger last night. So obviously, he was confronted. The look on Carmelo's face is a meme among memes. That man had the most face I've ever seen.
He knew he was wrong.
He knew it. Like you.
He knew he was wrong.
That's the look of who you is. Someone found out you stole the cookies out the cookie jar for real because they caught it on the camera. They had a ring device up in there.
Yeah, yep.
Like that thing ain't had night vision. And he couldn't see the fact that you crept up in there and grabbed all of it. Like, nah, bruh. You said you ain't do it. And you tried, you were convincing. You made it look like, no, that was not me.
Justice for Trick. Like, I was weak. He had, like, that face he had was that exact face when your mom texts you right when she leave for work. Make sure you take that chicken out the freezer. It's 6 o'clock and you hear them keys jingling. That was his exact face. That was his exact face.
No, like you done effed up, dog. Like you like, okay, yeah, this is it. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to what we're gonna get in the aftermath because they left us hanging all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Right, Mr.
It was me.
Is going after Ilya Dragunov as a filler feud, so that's interesting. Should be hard. So looking forward to that. I don't know if Braun's gonna try to go back in the title picture or not, but we'll see how that turns out. Yeah.
Put him on the main roster, I feel like. I feel like it's ready. Like there's not much else for him to do. And plus the heel angle, I feel like he's gotten the most that he can get out of it.
Yeah.
In NXT. Like he literally smashed a man's head. Maybe if Vaughn if Vaughn comes back and he puts over Vaughn and then he goes to the main roster, I would like that. Yeah. But something's got to give with Braun.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, again, him if he
with Braun,
Mello, I don't see him beating Ilya. So it's like, I mean, I don't know how that. It just that makes sense. But Braun. Baron makes sense because he did beat Ilya. So I see why he's going after him now, because it's like, look, I beat you. I'm the last person.
I have a case. Yeah, I have a case for this.
That's good. That's good storytelling right there. I like that angle. Shout out to them. But yeah, I agree with you. Where I felt like week 1 was, I felt like that was the better one per se.
Yeah.
Not to say that week 2 didn't do it for me. It just was kind of like, all right, cool. There were some cool moments. I felt like, you know, in the trio part 3 rubber match between Ilya and Carmelo, this wasn't their best, but I don't blame them. I blame the fact that it was TV constrained. The other two were, you know what I mean? So when they're on,
that springboard DDT spot that Carmelo did to Ilya outside the ring was crazy though.
Yes. Crazy, they went in. Like, I mean, they did what they could with what they had. It's just, again, man, that's the only thing about doing main events like that on TV, because you already know you got to go to the next program. And it's like,
there's the story's not over yet. And plus, like, when they announced that match, I was like, already? It's like, slow down. I was like, slow down. We just put on 2 bar burners. Like, let's slow down.
Yeah, man.
It's like, already?
That could have been Deadline or something. Soon, you know what I mean? But like, shoot, Corbin could have been the one. I don't even think he was on.
Corbin could have won that. Yeah, Corbin could have won that.
He could have been the one, or even freaking, you know, if you wanted to run it back with him and Dijakovic or Dijak, you know, Dijak.
Yeah, Dijak, yeah.
Could have ran that back. But I mean, again, I get it, you know, because Carmelo had to be back in that, but it still just would have been, you could have still kept telling the story, a trick. Maybe he didn't have to be in that match, where you could have told some stories of like him trying to interrogate people, like,
or even like backstage like videos being like, I'm here on behalf of Trick Williams and we will get him, just like, you know, like, just do stuff like that. Really milk it.
Yeah, that would have milked even more, so that when we would have known, like, oh, it was you. You know what I mean? That's just how I would have looked at it. If I could have redid this, I would have did it that way. But where we're at is where we're at. It is what it is. It's cool. You know, no worries. We here. But yeah, man. So NXT was, you know, props to them, man, again, for just putting on quality programming. I'm happy for them and what they're doing in terms of you know, the ratings. Hopefully the ratings when they release for both nights. I mean, I'm sure they already released for night 1. I gotta figure out how well they did, but hopefully they did good in the 2.
I think they did like 700,000. Yeah, 700,000.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, yeah.
Speaking of 700,000, here's a fun predictional guess. Oh, speaking of predictions, we have to actually update that, because Miss Ash,
I did bad last night.
Two, I got your predictions here, and so I gotta tally us. That's the only thing I didn't get to do as we were prepping for today's show. But so let's see. All right, you had Ilya Dragunov. You did get that point. You had Dominic. That's 2 points. Thea and JC is who you selected, which I was quite shocked by. I was like, oh, she's bold. She's going.
I'm a dreamer. Like,
well, I see the vision. You know, it would have been nice with JC having all the gold for a minute.
It
would have been nice with that. But
yeah,
unfortunately, that was not the case. So that was 1 point that was lost. Kalani, of course, obviously one that also did not go Ash's way, but I understood the feeling. I know that's what you wanted. And she got robbed, so that's a point that you should have had.
Yes.
Not
she would have won that. Yeah, she would have won that.
Still sitting at 2 here. Los Lotharios, another team that you expected to win, which they did put on one heck of a banger.
Yeah.
Creed Brothers back to back bangers. That's not easy to do.
Okay. It is not. Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, for a tag.
Yeah, like come on.
Oof, boy. So I can see why you selected them though. I'm not mad at why you did, because I did not know. Me picking the Creed Brothers, that was before I even realized or saw that, oh, they're on the main roster.
Main roster, yeah. That's why I said, because I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna give, but Los Lotharios is already kind of a main roster act. So it was hard. It was hard to say, because I thought maybe they were gonna put him over type B, but
Yeah. I don't know, man. We're gonna see how that plays out. So they did not get it. Braun Breaker, that was kind of a pointless match, but we kind of knew where that was going. So that's 3 points right
Yeah.
there on your end. And unfortunately, in Tiffany's case, can't really give a point for that one. That's kind of a neutral for both of us because
Yeah.
we didn't really have a match.
Yeah.
I was like,
Basically.
all of that for this?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
Hopefully they get a legitimate match
yeah,
down
you
the road.
kind of lost me on that one, but I guess it makes Tiffany look more aggressive, I guess. So I'll take it, sure.
Yeah.
So for me, I had Carmelo Hayes because I initially thought, hear me out, because I was like, Dragunov didn't need to be champion that long.
Yeah.
I was like, well, maybe this is where Melo could win the title back, be a 2-time champion. Then it's revealed, oh, you took out Trick. Trick challenges him for the title, gets his moment, beats his boy, wins the title, and then sends off Melo home. So that was my reasoning behind that. But
Yeah.
apparently they have a better idea. So it's like, cool, I took that loss. It's all good. Dominic Mysterio, because it's Judgment Day, it's mommy. Of course he was gonna win, right?
Yeah, that was all for it.
Yeah. Sorry, Nathan. You and your hairline situation that Gresh pointed out last night. I can't look at that the same now. Homeboy's hairline is jacked up. But
oh no.
yeah.
I gotta look at that. I gotta look at that.
You don't see it's it's hard to explain, but when it's in a ponytail, not
You can't tell.
bad, but like when he has it let out, like you can see like, bro, you need to let that go.
Oh.
But like Gresh,
oh no.
yeah, but like Gresh was saying, he doesn't have that type of head that where he can rock the bald look. So it's kind of like kind of stuck, bro. So I don't know. Nathan.
Give him a fade. Do a fade on him. The people, a white boy fade.
Yeah.
It's hit or miss. But when it hits, it hits. Okay, so
right, you're right about that. Right. I had Chelsea and Piper, so let's see. It's 2 points. Lola Vice 3. Creed Brothers, that's 4. Okay, and then Braun 5. So okay, edged it out. Got you 5-2. All right, so I got 3 up on you for this one.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're resetting our predictions at this moment, so we're gonna reset them in this point.
Yes.
So overall, so far, 5-2. All right. Okay. So you got your chance to redeem yourself as we got a new card coming up. We got Crown Jewel coming up. Crown Jewel, Saudi, good old Saudi season, where we have Crown Jewel coming up this upcoming Saturday. Should be a very fun early Saturday afternoon type of.
Yeah, them Saudi shows, them crowds be hot.
They do, and the cool thing about it is what I like about when they're overseas is shoot, we ain't gotta stay up that late. A lot of times it's like, oh, okay, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Then you got the rest of the day to chill, do whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one cool benefit about when they do go overseas like that. Of course, adding to the aura of the crowds, and hopefully, Ash will when we get those passport situations situated. Travel overseas and check out some overseas shows. You know what I mean? And
next time they go to Puerto Rico, we there. we there. We there.
Right. That's the easiest one because that's right here in the United States, baby.
Yeah.
Let's take this little quick flight real quick to Puerto Rico, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm with you on that one for sure. All right, so let's pull up this Crown Jewel card here and let's see what we can try our luck at. Let's see. 2023 match card. So given what we have in the match card, this is going to be an interesting show. Now, anything beyond this point that gets added to the card, ladies and gentlemen, we will let y'all know that when we review the show. Give our thoughts on it for next week. So, all right. Let's just do it this way. I'm going to go in a reverse order here. I'm looking forward. So, we have a pre-show match, an actual pre-show match. First time.
Oh, yes, I heard about this.
Sami Zayn versus old Funko Pop Head McDonough, ladies and
Cody opened the portal when he said that. Like Cody opened the portal when he said that.
totally did it. So where are you at with that one? Who you got taking the dub on this one?
I'm gonna go Sammy.
Sammy?
I'm gonna go Sammy.
Right there with you. It looks like they're catapulting Sammy for something in a solos kind of run. And
yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how that plays out. So yes, I am too going Sami Zayn.
Yeah, he's not and JD's not like an integral member of Judgment Day. He doesn't have a belt. There's no real stake to him losing. Besides like Rhea maybe giving him a spanking, but who knows?
But you know what's funny? You know what's really funny and ironic? These two facing each other in the pre-show. It's the former honorary Uce going against a mirror image of who he is right
now. Yeah.
You're not really a part of it, but you're doing everything. You know, you're over here hyping them up. This isn't the briefcase for you. No, this is the briefcase for you.
Yeah, he got the Rhea hug on Monday though, so not many could say that.
JD is just he's the modern day. So this is kind of actually it's almost like Sammy facing himself to get to another level. You know,
that's dope. That's dope way to look at it.
That's just me making that up, y'all.
It's a dope way to look at it, though.
You know what I mean? Sammy's facing himself of what he used to be before he sheds that off and goes into the main event scene. But we'll see how that plays out. Speaking of main event scene, we got a streak on the line in this match. Ladies and gentlemen, the streak of 2,000 some odd days. Why? Because apparently that's the last time John Cena won a singles match on television. Well, ladies and gentlemen, John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. Crown Jewel. Now, tricky, I know. Hard to call on how this goes, but I'd love to know where are you going on this one, Ash? Who's taking this win?
Solo has to win this one, right?
Well, let's see. The last time he was in a single match, he lost, right?
Yeah. He hasn't really, this is his first pay-per-view level match as a solo competitor. Mm-hmm. It's against John Cena. This is to me like the ultimate stamp of approval. Because John Cena's been kind of on like the putting people over tour right now. So I need him to put over Solo real quick.
I never really thought of it that way. You know, you almost make me convincingly want to change my pick. But since on file in the Gresham Unleashed pod from last night's predictions, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with what I said.
Okay.
You don't put a streak like that out there if you're not going to win a match. And unfortunately, I guess this means that Solo is just going to take yet another L. He hasn't taken a lot of them.
He hasn't.
But
this is a sizable L, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm one that's just going to say John Cena wins this.
Okay. And plus, it's like an overseas show. They kind of like to give fan service-y moments.
Yes.
For overseas shows too, so
specific.
I could see John Cena winning.
Yeah, these Saudi ones are very like
they always pick legends. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of going the John Cena route here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, now next up we've got there's so many I don't know where to choose from here. I'm gonna go ahead and just go with this one. We've got Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest.
Again, why is a tag? Someone in a tag having a solo match, but I'd be a little fed up with the way that he booked in the tags. But
one's the Money in the Bank and one needs to finish the story. I mean,
yeah, it's like at this point, does Damian even want a belt? Like, does Damian even want a singles belt? Like,
you wouldn't know, right? You can't tell.
Right?
You can't tell.
I don't get it. I'm gonna say because there's no stakes in terms of like belts. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Cody wins, which kind of sets them up to challenge for a rematch to win the belts back.
Yeah, I like that thought, and I'm right there with you because I agree. I am gonna pretty much side with you on that one and say Cody because
This
I
makes sense.
don't know why Priest would necessarily need to win. And as I explained on Gresh last night, Gresh Unleashed, Money in the Bank winners don't really have a habit of winning matches when they have that briefcase. It's almost like that briefcase, while you're a winner holding it, they make you lose to make you forget, oh yeah, they do have that. And
Yeah, in their back pocket.
like all that losing matters no more.
Yeah.
So it's like the cheat code of, oh, it's okay. You can lose all the matches you want because you're Money in the Bank, which means inevitably you're going to win. And when you do,
Something.
yeah, exactly. Well, some people that doesn't always work for, but I digress. Baron Corbin,
Yeah.
Damian Sandow. I digress. You know, it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You know. Now, in the case of the ladies, it's 100% these days. But you know, hey. Speaking of which, leads me on to my next one though. This is where it's really gonna get hard for you now.
I know. This one is hard.
A women's championship match on the line here. Io Sky defends the women's WWE Women's Championship against the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Ash, where you at here? What's going on now?
This one is so hard because we know that Bianca could spank all three members at once. We know that. So it's like, with that knowledge going in, it's like, how can you not pick Bianca? But at the same time, in a booking standpoint, it makes sense to have Io win, just because they're kind of building all this good fortune and momentum with Damage Control. And it seems as though they're kind of inevitably setting up Bayley versus Io.
Mm-hmm.
So I would kind of prefer that to be a title match.
Okay.
So this one is hard to call. What are you thinking? Because I need an opinion almost on this one.
Well, you know, I was also in a corner with this, but here's the thing, man. You just literally got back from a hiatus.
Yeah.
And you usually wouldn't bring someone back just to straight up lose off the jump, especially in Bianca's caliber. So the only way I see her losing is if she's screwed somehow. And by screwed, I mean Charlotte, or, you know, you can argue and say Damage Control here, or you can say, like, I don't know, like, she'd have to literally be screwed some kind of way. But we know that at some point come WrestleMania season, it's coming down to Bianca and Charlotte in a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Well, one of them has to win this title in order for that to happen. So it's either you want Charlotte to get another reign, or you want Bianca to have it now, turn heel possibly in the process.
Yeah. Because that's a whole other thing, is that if Io's very popular right now, you could also be kind of shooting Bianca's babyface run by having her be so dominant and win in this match. So it's like, there's so many ways that this one could go. I think I'm gonna have to off strength say Bianca. Just off of everything that we know. And if they do kind of go the Damage Control route, it would be kind of like a continuity error, almost, of her. Like, so you could take them back then, but you can't take them now. Like, she literally put two members on her shoulders and put their face to the mat at the exact same time. So it's very hard for me to believe that she's not going to win this weekend.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, sis. I mean, again, I don't see how she wouldn't win this. it would shock me a bit if it would and it wouldn't, but it's like
something crazy gotta happen.
Yeah,
something like literally jaw dropping. Like, oh,
yeah,
I was not expecting this person to turn on Bianca.
Yeah, it's got to be. And like, the only person I can think of that would do something like that is, well, Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah, you know? or Jade or something, but they haven't touched yet, so there's no real reason for her.
Yeah, there's no real
to interfere. But
yeah, nah, yeah. So yeah, I'm like you. We're going Bianca.
yeah, like yeah. It's too soon. It's too soon to have Bianca and Jade interact.
Of course. That was my pick. You know, last night. So again, I'm trying to do my best to stick with these picks since they're all form on record here a little bit. But all right, this is where it's gonna be fun. Another one that might be a little hard to call for you, possibly, maybe. I got an explanation video coming for this real soon.
Oh, okay.
We have another title match. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the United States Championship match. Ray Gucci Louis V Mysterio going one-on-one with the Maverick himself, Logan Paul, for the United States Championship. Ash, ma'am, where you at? Who's winning this championship?
It's so dark-sided, but it's Logan. I think it's Logan. So dark-sided and sinister, but
you say that like you really don't want that to happen. That's
I don't. and don't like.
It's so funny. I still try to figure out how are these Paul brothers so popular and not any woman I know seems to like them. What is it? Where's
I don't know.
Clarity coming from then? Maybe LA Knight was on to something. Maybe there's 14-year-old girls or something, because grown women don't seem to like these dudes. It seems. So, I need to know.
Yeah, I know. I was on YouTube, like the whole YouTube era when he was coming up, so I know his tea. So I know all his.
That's fair. I respect that. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because that show was just like, not one woman I know is literally just like, oh, that's my husband. Oh, I love me some Logan Paul. Oh, I love me some Jake. Oh, you know, I'm like, I ain't heard that one time, not once. So I'm like, y'all either got a bunch of male lovers or something. Yeah. Who are y'all followers again? That's making y'all so popular.
It's got to be kids. Yeah, it's got to be kids.
It's kids. I guess it's kids. Yeah, but it's what it is, man. But yes, I'm going with Logan Paul as well. I will explain that in a deeper explanation on why exactly I choose this man to win this match. But yeah, y'all stay tuned. That'll be posted on the IG and TikTok and all that good stuff a little bit soon this evening. But going on to another championship match. Well, we're championship heavy now. This is all championship matches. So we have another match that. Okay, I'm gonna say this is unpredictable in terms of who takes the fall. This is not unpredictable in terms of who wins. This is unpredictable in terms of who you see taking the fall. -1, because it's obvious one is not getting pinned in this. I would assume. Yeah. We have a fatal 5-way for the Women's World Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Raquel Rodriguez versus Zoe Stark versus Shayna Baszler versus Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship. And allow me to say my favorite saying, because this is exactly what this is. Big, meaty women slamming meats. You know?
Absolutely.
Love, man. I always hear this.
Absolutely.
If y'all ain't chanting meat for the women too, god dang it, I got beef with you wrestling fans.
Thanks.
Yep,
yeah, thanks.
Pun intended. I got big beefy beef with all you wrestling fans. Y'all gonna make me question some things because you got Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs in a match. And y'all was chanting meat and slap that meat. Well, do the same thing for these big meaty women. You got powerhouse women out here doing the same.
This is gonna be a battle of the powerhouses.
Exactly. I need this. I need that same energy. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
it's not so much a question of who you got winning. It's more so who do you have taking the fall here that can afford to take it.
I feel like Zoe's still like new in her momentum to where she can take the fall.
Okay.
I feel like it's Zoe, because Zoe, to me, I feel like Zoe's going to be the MVP of that match, because she's not necessarily a powerhouse. She's kind of like she's very technical.
Mm-hmm.
She can do the high flying. She can do like submission for submission. Like, she's really, really good. I feel like she's a really good pick for this match, because she's going to almost be like the glue that keeps everything together. So I can foresee her taking that pin, because Raquel can't take it the way that they've been booking her. Nia can't take it the way that she just had this huge return.
Right.
And we all know Rhea's retaining. So the Judgment Day has no title match. She's the only match in Judgment Day.
What about Shayna? Can't she take the fall? Does she deserve to take?
Shayna can take the fall, but she doesn't deserve it. Because she doesn't necessarily have a direction. They haven't necessarily been, since the whole Ronda feud, they haven't really been utilizing her to the way that I thought that they would. So I feel like she could take the pin, but Shayna's just so dope, she doesn't deserve it. She doesn't deserve it.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. I see you, sis. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I believe I called Zoe Stark. So that's kind of our point, extra point on top of a point of who.
Yeah.
It's not so much the prediction. We know that's automatic. It's more so we'll get a point for knowing Rhea is going to win, but the extra point on top of this one is more so, since it's a fatal 5-way, calling it correctly on who gets pinned. So we both got Zoe, it looks like, taking the fall here. So we're going to stick with that. Okay.
Yeah. It's super obvious, but there's literally two parties in this that cannot take the pin unless you essentially kind of want to squash their momentum.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next thing. We've got a World Heavyweight Championship match now. We've got Seth freaking Rollins going one-on-one with the angry, bitter, darker Drew McIntyre these days. Now, I'm gonna go back to Gresh Unleashed last night and what we kind of spoke about in this situation, but interesting thought that Josh brought up here. Lately, is it just us, or is it almost every opponent that Seth has had as of late, we've been literally wanting them to win? Is it more want him to lose the title, or more because we just want to see the opponent win because of their legitimate case? Finn had a legitimate case of, I was Universal Champ, but then you injured my shoulder where I had to surrender the title the next day. Damn, and that kind of makes me want to root for you to win this title. Shinsuke, literally someone who had all the momentum in the world, winning the Royal Rumble, did low blows to AJ Styles, and they just dropped the ball on that, where he just all the way lost. And now the Shinsuke that we loved and really cared for from 2017 and 16 and 18 is now resurging himself and trying to tell the story of, I want someone to challenge me to awaken the real me, this and that.
Yeah.
Right? Kind of wanted to see Shinsuke win. And now here we are with Drew. That vignette, actually, video package did give a case, albeit I see Seth's point. Boo-hoo, everybody went through this.
Crimea River, yeah.
Everybody went through that.
Savage.
There were other people
Savage.
who won titles, but
kind
of one of those things where you're like, you did kind of have your moment taken from you from Mother Nature or science or government, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Then your moment was taken away from you from the bloodline when you had a lot of people in your home country. So I can see that frustration. So where you at? Who really takes this here?
You see, I feel like there's two different ways that I can see this.
Okay.
Drew retaining Drew winning because of the story, because he is kind of owed that, in a sense, that moment with the crowd, with a live crowd, to have that success. But on the other hand, I feel like in terms of a story, it might be more interesting if Drew loses and he finally turns heel. Like he finally takes that other foot out of the door and he walks into that heel, like that heel persona, finally. So for those reasons, I think I'm gonna say Seth retains.
Love the way you're thinking. Can't say any less that I agree with that. And ironically, Gresh had that same thought that you just said. Where he was like, that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
Moment for your shot, you lose, and then you go crazy because you were expecting to win.
It makes sense, yeah.
Literally said, you're willing to break your back to win the title. I'm willing to break your back to win this title back.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it seems that that's him saying that if I don't win this, I will snap, and I will
guaranteed
be completely, ruthless. So
yeah,
which is okay with me because I mean, I missed the Scottish psychopath Drew anyway. So I mean, this
yeah.
for me. So with that, okay, looking forward to seeing how this all turns out. Then I also ended up picking Seth Rollins to retain this, so that appears to be all locked, with the exception of the final match, which man, let's talk about a rock in a hard place. Good gracious. I don't like this match happening now, yet alone
Neither.
they're happening at all. But ladies and gentlemen, the elephants in the room. We got a Universal Championship match. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns going one-on-one with the megastar himself, the rising star, within a quick year of a turnaround. L.A. Knight. Yeah. Man, this couldn't be any more obvious.
I think we know where this one is going.
Yeah.
My whole thing is that, like, I hope that they do something with this. I hope that, because, like, there's a formula to these bloodline matches now. We know that the SmackDown before the show, they face one of the dudes, either Jimmy or Solo. One of them used to be Jay, but now Jay's, he's doing his own thing now.
Right.
Then they have the match. The match goes on. Something happens with the ref. And then now all of these hijinks ensue with the Usos or with Solo, or, somebody's going to get thumbed up, basically. I'm hoping that we see someone new come to help. Because as we know, we just saw that Lance Noye just announced his departure from MLW. And then I also believe, like, Juicy, I forget how to pronounce his last name, he also announced that he's leaving. They have to do, because this match is probably going to be very short and sweet. Hopefully, all hits, no fat, like, just give it to us straight. You know what I mean? Like, short and sweet, all hits, no misses. Like, just do what you got to do and get out, But I'm hoping that something happens in the match where it's a genuine surprise that excels the bloodline storyline.
Agreed. It's about time to get some new members here. You're right, because, well, yeah.
Solo made his debut at Clash last year, so this is around that time.
Yeah, it would be about time. I mean, I'm not opposed to. I mean, clearly you're keeping the stable alive. So, like, if you're gonna, let's not forget here, most importantly, a little sprinkle of Ava Raine was kind of awesome.
Yeah, a little Ava Raine tidbit.
We've yet to see a female member. Maybe you might get that for the first time too. You just never know.
Yeah, I would love that.
Be the first. That's one heck of a pun. The first female to enter into the bloodline.
Yeah, the first lady of the bloodline.
Yeah, so there's some sprinkles here. I mean, that's the beauty of a big family. You know, you got so many.
Yeah.
Shout out to our boy Zilla out there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, shout out to you, Zilla.
That guy is just waiting in the wings down the line as well when he sees fit to get ready. So yeah, we they out there. We you know, that's why it's like LA Knight, man. You know, this is not gonna kill his momentum, but this is kind of one of those things where it's like, did you have to do this
now?
really? Like, why do we take the hottest baby faces and keep feeding them to Roman? I don't know.
Yeah.
Easily could have just did this match with LA Knight. Or you could have had Drew in it and then LA Knight and Drew going. I don't know, something.
Yeah, something.
And then I also made this point, Ash, which is so funny to me here. It's almost like LA Knight and Drew should have swapped because Drew's whole thing is, well, I can't forgive the bloodline because of what they did to me, costing me my moment.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yet the bloodline is still here. You're talking as if they're no longer in existence. They're still here. And Roman's still very much champion. And, you know, LA Knight's going against him, which means he's going to get part of these same shenanigans. So, again, it doesn't really help Drew's case because it's like, bruh, I kind of see why Seth is like, boo freaking who. Bruh.
Yeah. He's like, I wouldn't do the same thing.
Deal with the bloodline, bro. Literally.
Yeah. Like get in line. Get in line.
It's kind of, you know, I think about it, this kind of makes him look like a whiny son of a gun in a sense. Because it's like, wait a minute, bro. Everybody had to deal with these shenanigans for Roman. Literally everyone had this man legitimately beat on the bloodline in some way, shape, or fashion.
Yeah, like take a ticket and sit down because you are not the only one with this issue.
Exactly. Sammy went through it. KO went through it. Cody went through it.
Randy.
Yeah, man, exactly. Randy. like the LA Knight's about to go through it. Everybody has been through the same thing. So you might as well have just found a way to swap this, but I get it. It's hard when they're both on the same shows, but kind of like Gresh mentioned, it's like, well, shoot, he should have just been the one to get traded to SmackDown instead of KO, because what's he done since being over there? Nothing.
Yeah. Punch. Punch Austin Theory and Grayson Waller at the same time.
Exactly. It's like, what? It's like, all right, fine. So I don't know, man. But that's pretty much it, guys. For the most part, that is your crown jewel match card, and that is also the predictions that me and Ashley have on our end for the crown jewel card. So in terms of looking up through here, don't really have time to do another new segment I was going to do, which was Oh You Didn't Know. I will save that for next week's show because we did go a little lengthy today. Of course, given that there was so much good stuff to talk about, we owed this to y'all, given the fact that it had been a while and we had a couple weeks break where we needed to, you know, recuperate and get some things figured out, which we got. So, of course, now going forward, we're going to have everything laid out and structured for y'all. So I got a couple new segments that will debut going into next week. Don't have time to do the botch of the week this week either as well. I will save that for next week. Don't worry, it will return, as will a new segment that we have as well, which is a quick take kind of segment, super quick. But with that being said, this is the time where we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up, man. We've been here long enough to where we thank y'all if you hung with us to this entire show. You a real one. We love you. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you follow all things Life's a Botch podcast on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. Let me see, where else are we right now? Yeah, Instagram, YouTube. TikTok, yes, thank you, Ash. TikTok as well. Life's a Botch podcast. All things Life's a Botch podcast on all platforms where you can see us doing some cool short form content. Interviews, like I mentioned at the top of the show, will be coming back soon. I know you guys who've been faithful and love the interviews, they will be back. We are working on that, both independent and, of course, legends and people on the main rosters, thing like that. We still got to rub some elbows and get in contact with some people for like some of the main roster, AEW and WWE peoples. But
Yes.
anyone I can get from like an Impact or an MLW or things like that, I'll work on getting some of those talents in here, and then everybody else on the indie scene that's on the come up, including the ladies. We're gonna have some stuff with Ash on the Instagram where she'll interview with some of the independent ladies out there that's on the rise or getting ready to, or currently killing it right now. So we'll be setting that up as well very soon for you. So y'all just keep it locked with us, man. We're gonna definitely make a lot of things work out. But in the meantime, we're looking forward. I know I'm going live this upcoming Saturday for Crown Jewel. I'm gonna be doing it with Gresh for his pod. It's kind of like a cross collab situation. He asked if I'll be available. Ash, definitely. If we get her as well, if she's available, we'll definitely have her hop on in there with us and make this like a trio kind of situation. If she's available at the time when we go live for said post review. But if not, just in case, your boy will be representing the Life's a Botch podcast along with the Gresham Unleashed podcast, where we'll do like a collab situation and go live right after the show. So just make sure you follow the socials. Make sure you follow Gresham Unleashed as well, and you will see the notification the moment we go live and discuss what happened after Crown Jewel. So, with that being said, we can't forget the most important thing. Follow the brand behind this very platform. That's right. We are talking about OTS Media Co. Shout out to our network, OTS Media Co., where there are a bevy of shows. Shout out to the Sideline Guys, the MMA Archive, Realish. There's so many dope shows under the network, man. And we want to shout them all out. Make sure that you guys keep it locked with OTS Media Co. Hit that subscribe and notification bell to the YouTube, where our YouTube for Life's a Botch is also connected to that page. So if you go to OTS Media Co., hit subscribe there, scroll to the bottom of their homepage, you will see the Life's a Botch podcast YouTube, where you too can also subscribe to Life's a Botch, the YouTube, where when we go live, you'll see us on there. When we do some of the short form interviews and stuff like that for the shorts and the reels, you'll see that on that page as well. Mainly for OTS, when it comes to Life's a Botch, you will see our main episodes on that page. So that's how you subscribe to them, so you can see the full episode if you want to visually watch it on your television screens at home and all that good stuff. And if you're just listening, make sure you give us a 5-star review, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend, because guess what? The more you do that, the more the Life's a Botch podcast is on the feeds for recommendations on top wrestling podcasts and all that good stuff. So Ash, real quick, ma'am, any final regards or any ways you want to tell the people to follow you and find you and all that good stuff?
Yep. So you can follow me on all social media platforms at Ash Benny.
You heard it. You know it right there. Ash Benny, that's her. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what it is. Throwback for my 90s kids out there. But yeah, man. And you already know, follow your boy Highlight Life, HILITE Life. Also, special announcement to you guys, by the way, before I forget, this is my final announcement to give you guys before we close this thing out. The Life's a Botch podcast theme that you guys all love and hear at the very beginning of this show as it starts will officially, the full theme will be available on all streaming platforms for you guys. So if y'all rocks with it and y'all want to put it on your playlist, just bump it all the time, it will be available very shortly. Shout out to my boy Gresh from the Gresh Unleashed pod. As of yesterday, both his main theme song on top of his alternate theme song, that's a new theme for his interviews and stuff like that. Both of those released on yesterday. So as you know, I go by Highlight Reel, but what I did is I separated the musical content. So for my people who don't follow wrestling, they will have me as Highlight Reel and all that good stuff. But I specifically had to make a new platform, which I call Mike Mayhem Music, where every freestyle to a theme song or any original theme that I do for an independent wrestler that you guys like on the scene, all of that will fall under Mike Mayhem Music. So that is Mike, M-I-C, Mayhem Music. If you look that up on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you like to listen to music, you will see every theme, every original theme for a wrestler or a podcast featured on that very platform. You can put it on your playlist and all that good stuff as well. So make sure y'all go show some love to Mike Mayhem Music. It's a new platform. I got to make some pages and everything for that. So when I do freestyles on the YouTube and all that good stuff, it will collide and coincide with it so it doesn't confuse anyone or anything like that. But I had to make sure I kept those entities separate so that it wouldn't clash with anything I do non-wrestling related musically wise. So with that, guys, thank y'all so much for rocking with us here on the podcast. We appreciate y'all. We rock with y'all. Again, we are on the episode to Road 100. So when we get there, we got something real special planned. Me and Ash gonna chop it up and definitely make sure we make it nice and glorified and all that good stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
In the meantime, it's your favorite special guest referee highlight reel with the also loving Ash, Benny, Fearless, Nikki, Bella, and Cosplay, here to let y'all that time where I tell everybody we need those 2 sweets in the air for one good old 2 sweet. Peace right there, baby. Until the next time, we will see y'all same time, same place next week, winning the race, baby. We out this
Bye.
thing. Y'all have a good evening. Peace.
Becky says bye.